Welcome, welcome. Mic check, mic check. All right, let's keep this going. It is Tuesday, December 9th. Got another radio show for you guys. Got another Pod Beam special. A great episode. Obviously, it's not going to have any of the inner subjects. I don't think I've ever spoken about my inner subjects on my social media platforms. Well, definitely not in detail because there's a only certain amount of time to help guide a soul. And if you're ever confused, like, what is this guy talking about, bro? This guy talking about souls. I'm kind of confused. Like, who does he think he is? Like, here's I'll tell you who I am. Okay. I'm your dad, bitch. I'm your fucking dad, so shut the fuck up. Your dad is a joke. If you're listening to this right now, your dad's a joke. I want to talk about dads all around the world, right? Excluding my dad, but most dads, right? We'll include most. What's my problem with these dads, right? I'm going to do the intro, but hang on. The intro always has to come after the anger. this is how this is how everyone falls in line and knows what the fuck is going on this beautiful Tuesday. And by beautiful December 9th Tuesday, I mean, dude, if you're not in the Christmas spirit, you're off track with the cosmos. You're not aligned with the fucking stars. You don't know what's happening inside of you. So there's some of you guys who have not been in tune with holidays since you were kids. And it's not like this is not like we're trying to be up with the masses on everything they do. Like, oh, it's Easter's, oh, it's not you forcing it or faking it, it's you allowing spirit into your life, dude. You should be feeling great in December, like awesome. And that's not most of you because a lot of you guys have this seasonal depression faggotry. You message me with this seasonal depression faggotry, thinking as if like I'm going to, I always try and understand the position because I am the physician, right? I don't want to be one of those faggots that just they yell at their audience with the good advice. They're just yelling at their audience. And bro, I've done years of that, right? There's only so much of that you can do until you're losing out. If you want to be someone's physician, if they come to you for something, oh, I got seasonal depression and I just don't know what the fuck is happening. These kind of messages, you got to remember, man, most of these people going through shit, I'm sorry to say, dude, this is going to burst your bubble, but you're not special. Like, you're not special at all. Most of you people going through a lot of shit, if you could see through other people's eyes, you would immediately chill out and be like, oh, it's not that special. Actually, in the olden days, they used to put certain temperaments together with each other: a fiery temperament, a melancholic temperament, watery temperament, earthy temperament. They would put the four temperaments together near each other in classrooms because the more they looked around and saw people like them, the more they chilled out. A lot of people have this thing where they think they're special, right? Like their suffering is super special. And yeah, maybe it is that when you're 70 years old and you can tell us your story, but right now, shut the fuck up, you fucking coward. You're missing out on all the Christmas energy. All of this December, you don't even have to celebrate anything. I'm talking about winter. The air is changing. I think it was Nick who first said "fuck summer." It's all about the winter, which I completely disagree with that. Summer is awesome, but I know exactly what he means. Like when it's cold as fuck outside, they got the lights on. Everyone has that depressed little bitch face. You go to the mall, you see people just, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. You go around town, you go, whoa, what the fuck are these people doing? They're in their piece of shit cars, just driving to work, and they don't know what they do. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, here I am. I don't have to work, right? I'm not Sneeko. I'm not these people who have to work. I choose to work. I like to work, right? Or I could just stay with my community. I don't have to do these Twitters and shit. But it's fun. It's like get it 2 hours in and really uplift the community soul because it some of you people actually are convinced that you know something. Let me tell you something. If you're listening right now, you don't know shit. You're a fucking idiot. The people that raised you are not intelligent. Your teachers are not intelligent. Nobody you know is intelligent. The people who know things, those are like your Alex Jones. Like that's Alex Jones is your peak intelligence, bro. That's what you're doing with your fucking life. And it's like, dude, but Zherka, you said this in summertime. You said that spring, summer, winter, fall, you're a fucking loser. Everybody listening to this is that you could be doing so much more. Today I woke up early. I go for a 5 hour run uphill both ways, nigga. And I'm thinking to myself, like, look at these people going to work to make their piece of shit paychecks. Not one of them thinks outside of the box. But how do you think outside of the box if that's not your style? Who are the types of people that even think outside of the box in the first place? These people are under a lot of pressure, right? That's why their head pops out of the box. So if you're ever wondering in life, holy shit, I'm doing everything I can, nigga, do more. And stop complaining when you're doing shit, okay? You can always do more. In fact, you should see breaking points as days off. Like when you break, you're that tired that it has to happen. That's a real day off. These scheduled day offs is like, first of all, why does the study end in a normal human's life when they're 21? And it's funny because up until 21, everything they studied is fucking useless, right? Like if you ask someone, hey, what did you learn off the internet versus school? As stupid as the internet is, you get a lot more out of it. Have you ever rabbit holed a certain topic, right? And you just go down at one topic and you look at five of the most popular channels on that topic and you learn a lot about that topic really quickly and you never stop and ask yourself, wait a minute, if interest made me an expert in this one topic from, just making these five channels more abstract, more is more for the simple minded. If it's that easy for interest to make you good at something, imagine being interested in the things that further your career instead of being interested in going to school. Or I get messages from people asking me about college, like, bro, do you think this channel will ever talk about college? Are you serious right now? There's some of you guys thinking that I'm here to talk to you about college. College? Isn't that like the Isn't that like the land of the losers, college? Like, imagine growing up and thinking your education is going to come from the mainstream. Is there anything more mainstream than what the elites try and force on you? I have a serious problem with people that think their life study is going to be something in the mainstream. You don't have one weird study you're into that can benefit the whole world, but no one's willing to pull it up and bring it to the mainstream. You don't have nothing. Well, then, on paper, that makes you a piece of shit human being. You are a piece of shit human. You don't have one. I know a guy who researches cancer because someone in his family had it. And he's obsessed with debunking mainstream lies about it. He doesn't get that many views or none of that, but his dedication is pure consciousness soul. You can see the flame. It's awesome seeing this dude. It's like that is a human being to me. That his personal life became global. Do you understand what I'm saying? That his personal problem, he needs the whole world healed because that problem is tearing him up inside. It's destroying him. It's destroying his family, and it's not even that big yet. But do you see how there's no mainstream interest there? It's not like he woke up, someone told him, hey, this is what's popular as cancer research or this, that. No. This man pulled something out of the middle of his thinking, not his thinking upward, not his limb system thinking, in the middle, right from the heart. He said, this is what I'm maximizing, which would be, imagine if the whole world thought like these people, where they say, I'm bringing this to the tribe. And I mean, dude, now with the internet, the whole world is very connected. You can easily bring something to town square. I'm doing it right now. Any human can bring something good to town square for people who need it. But all we get is gay ass Joe Rogan conversations, which, by the way, if you listen to podcasts for comfort and not knowing, not knowledge. You're listening to podcasts for comfort. And this would all hit harder if I wasn't rushing, but I only want to do 2 hours today just to remind everyone you guys are all faggots. Every single person here has some podcast they're preoccupied with where it's like, dude, you've watched years and years of podcasts. You haven't made one note in a notebook about those podcasts, meaning you're not even listening. You're probably in a fucking trance state, drifting off into fucking la la land. I know successful people who drift. I know losers who drift, and they're both faggots. Like, they're drifters. There's no continuity to their incarnation. There's no, you can open up a Zherka channel talking about anything. It'll always loop back to what Zherka's mission is. I'm not even talking about this incarnation. I'm talking about all of them combined. There's a theme here. And you want to listen to fucking Joe Rogan talk about whatever the fuck. I'm telling you, like, I can see loser in your guys' profile pictures. Like, I just open it and I go, there's no fucking way these people are hand selecting their feeds. That's what the like and dislike button are there for. It's not to be a nice or a bad person. It's so your feed looks like the mind you're trying to build, right? You're supposed to play with it. It's very scary because you can like someone just out of sympathy. Like, here's a like, you little fucking faggot. You like their shit, and then boom, it starts promoting you all that slop from that side. And you're like, I don't want this. I was just trying to be nice. Bro, forget about being nice until your feed is correct. Okay? A lot of people think there's massive, massive knowledge and downloads they can do in life that will benefit them. You have never learned something in your life and benefited off of it. That's not how this works. It's always you're deleting something. It's something, maybe external, forced you to delete a style of thinking, a habitual pattern, a mechanical thought. Do you understand? Mechanical thoughts are what are insects? Insects are mechanical thoughts. You don't need those bugs in your fucking head. Zerka, how often am I deleting shit from my phone, my mind, my routine? Like, how often? Is it 1 week? Is it 2 weeks? Dude, this is like the superficial version of your moral practice of polishing your heart until you die. It should be a conversation with yourself every day. You shouldn't have to wait for these Twitter spark up so I can feel something. No, you should be talking to yourself, but never listening to yourself. You don't need to listen to all that negative shit, man. And it's about delete, delete, delete. The only thing that should be within you to your core is things you brought from childhood, teenhood, young adulthood that is mega important. Some of these are not important to what you're trying to do in a let's say they're not in a logical sense, they don't fit in to what you're trying to do, but they inspire. That's totally fine, right? Because when we're looking at equanimity and staying in the middle of yourself, when we're looking at true equanimity, it's always neutral, and it could swing positive, right? You could glow with positivity. A lot of people think positive is like immediately comes with a negative. No, you can master staying in the middle, being neutral, right? A lot of people who are too positive, they go up and down, they fuck their whole lives up like that because they start identifying. There's people who smoke a pipe and actually believe that they are a pipe. That's how long they've been smoking. They don't feel right until they light up that pipe. These people are sick in the head. There's people who play video games and their PlayStation so much that they identify with the PlayStation and now they're not even in the room anymore. And this is like a teaching that's not supposed to be for the masses, but you you will stop paying attention to your own nose, and that's you drifting and identifying with a different part of reality that doesn't involve the observer. Anything that doesn't involve your third eye is fucked up and dangerous, dude. It could soak up a lot of your time. It is dangerous. You should always, every minute of your life, be battling to be an observer of your life. Even if that means being a lot slower. That's a total win. A lot of people think answering a question fast because your buddy asked something is super important. No, it's not. It's observing. Are you even present when he asks you a question? Or are you answering on impulse? And if you're answering on impulse, what else can he get you to do? How much time can this guy eat up? Right? And here's the interesting thing about consciousness is once you start seeing these things as flames, you can light other people up in the room. You can be magnetic in the room because everyone wants their eyes back awake. It might have been 8 hours since a working man was actually awake. He keeps falling asleep and he does not know why. There's never been a master in history that taught men this rule. This is something that the only people who go to the mountains realize this rule. But in polite society and in the big city life, you tell someone, "Hey, can you even see your own nose when you're talking?" They'd be like, "Damn, no, I was unconscious." Okay, well, how much of your life have you spent unconscious? And why was the most important things you've ever done in your life under real consciousness? When really good things happen to you in life, you will notice yourself. It's almost like a backward kind of feeling where you're falling back into yourself and you're observing that something good is happening. It's not just something good happening, you're observing, why me? Why now? This is perfect timing. This is awesome. This is synchronicity. And you try and go to that dreamy state. No, stay as the observer. It doesn't matter the empires, the money you make. Actually, most businessmen who are very successful, if you felt their heart rate for the last 30 years of their life, you would say that guy is a fucking faggot. His heart has been beating from his chest in anxiety. I gotta do this to keep my business on top. 30 years goes by and he's in a mechanical system that's working for him. That's why he's making this kind of money. But 30 years go by and he had sweaty palms, fast heart rate, no women, no magneticism, just money, 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 just money, and doesn't realize, whoa, 30 years went by. I was unconscious. I was unhappy. But the system that I downloaded, and programmed my brain with, it made a lot of money. I am a success story. No, you're a fat dude in a tie in an office. That's what you are. What the fuck is that? Versus someone who breathes well, someone who breathes into their balls and can go to sleep at will. They don't have to stay up wondering what the hell. Wonder is a bad word because wonder is a beautiful word. Wonder is a beautiful word that people need to start using again, but that's not wonder. Staying up all night. First of all, 30 years of your life went by because you were afraid, right? You downloaded a system that made you money. You were terrified. You were terrified of what happens. Did you get the chicks you wanted? Did you get any of the lifestyle you wanted when you did this? Where's the true and where's the beauty? Because, we're looking for spirit in everything we do. Oh, there's no true and nothing true and no beauty in your life. Just money. But dude, money can make things beautiful. Oh, right. You were carrying the burden of having to make the money. Oh, you were not lucky. It was not just given to you, but if it was given to you, you'd be those rich kids who get no respect at a party because they have no drive, no hunger, no instinct morphing into intuitive energy, nothing going upwards in their nervous system. It's just fear. And you ask any boy, young man, whatever, hey, who do you want to be in your tribe? They'd be like, I want to be the hunter. Oh, what characteristics does the hunter have? The hunter is he's not afraid, and all the women like him, and yeah, yeah, he's that guy. Huh. Well, why didn't you say the richest guy in the village? Why don't you want to be that guy like DJ Khaled or a young man will say, no, I don't want that. Right? That's why most movies, have you noticed most movies you watch are about some broke dude who is that guy, right? And he wins over the lady and he's battling it out with some rich dude who's just like spoiled to death. This is like a huge archetypal theme for many. It's like the relatable theme, but it's relatable. Forget the relatable part. Let's look at the dream oriented part. Why does this orient us in a way where we go, oh, I love that storyline, right? Maybe like Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I don't know what I'm thinking, but you know it when you see it. Everyone's seen it. And every guy identifies with it. They go, man, I'd rather be the main character than the rich guy in the movie or the whatever, the bad guy or this. But what they're really saying is these inner things you build, courage, respect, things that you can't buy, right? These are earned. These are things you build and then you have to hold. And it doesn't matter how many hours, it could be hundreds, could be, what are we talking about? Years of hours, all built up into a system of thought of a character you are building on Earth, but you're actually remembering with new abilities this time, self-remembering. And it's like, dude, we all want the same thing. Why are we pretending we want these? What do they try and get us to? They try and get us to talk about uh, running a casino like Andrew Tate or these guys, right? They try and get us into that, and it's like, nobody gives a fuck about that, bro. Nobody gives a shit. It's an illusion, bro. Now, that doesn't mean you should be a broke fucking joke, because let me tell you this, man. If you incarnated any time in history, where would it be the easiest to make money? Every human on earth throughout all history would say, Whoa, 2025 is easy money. All you have to do is trade it for time, right? Like anyone can do it. Like, there's not one human on earth in today's day and age that can sit down and say, I don't know how to make fast cash and a lot of it. Shit, cash that I could just burn, do stupid shit with, and then get more. There's every person's first thought would be like, oh, I don't want to put that time into that. I don't want to force the energy like that. I want to, man, I'm too lazy to do that. Blah 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 blah. But there's not one human who says, no, this is a hard time to make money. There's a lot of people who will complain about rent being too high and cost of houses and all that. And it's like, bro, that's fine. I'm not attacking you guys at all. I'm just saying, on the other side of the coin, bro, you're a lazy fucking faggot. Right? Two things can be true at the same time, right? The system could be corrupt, and you are corrupt as fuck. Actually, the system looks like an angel compared to you and how much time you have wasted. A lot of people don't understand that it's like, I'm not doing that grind channel advice. You know that you see that those crypto people on Twitter who do that? Fuck no. I'm not doing that. I'm saying never complain about the spot you're in. We look at the energy level and energy systems that you do not put forward, and you'll be embarrassed. You'll be ashamed. Even if you're doing a shit ton of things, you'll always feel ashamed that there's others who just manage it better. And why? Because they put more thought into it. It means more energy, it means more love, more consciousness into it. I want to get some questions going because I'm only here for 2 hours, guys. But just want to do a community meetup and keep drilling in your head that you're nothing. You're a faggot. You're a joke. You need to hear this, okay? This is important. You're a faggot and you're a joke. You need to wake up from this idea of shit's happening to me. No, nothing's happening to you, bro. Nothing. You're boring me. Okay, what do we got? Man, it's a new person. But some people are convinced that I know the people that I let on here to talk. No, I put random people every call. Every call for the last however long I've been doing this, it's always new people. I don't know why people think it's Zherka, you're endorsing this person who's speaking. I don't know who the fuck these people are. I just yank in random people and see where everyone's at. E-man, speak, you fucking faggot.
Yo, nah, I was dozing off. I didn't know I was up here. Yo, what's up? What y'all talking about?
Okay, are you black?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound black with your sleepiness, like you can't get your life together.
Hey man, it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, you just come in here and say, what the fuck are we talking about? I don't know what the fuck's going on because I'm black.
I mean,
Is that
yeah.
is that what's going on? Is you're
I mean,
confused?
yeah, pretty much. I
How
can't
long
lie
have
to y'all.
how long have you been black for?
Actually, as a baby, I was light skinned, but like, I've been black
It
since
just
like
gets
I was
worse
like,
and worse. Light skin like Steph Curry.
yeah, pretty much. You
So
look at
you're
my
not
old like,
even athletic. You're like the weak blacks.
no, but as I'm saying, as a baby, I was light skinned, but now I'm like black, pure black.
Okay, listen, man. I like the Goku thing, but I'm not trying to get robbed right now. Okay.
Dang. All right.
See, guys, you have to be mean to these people. The most rude thing you could say to someone is, "What are we talking about?" Bro, we don't have time for this shit, bro. Like, you need to wake up. Reality is bending and you're falling, lagging behind. What are we do? It's like he's playing a video game, puts the controller down, and goes, Yo, Zerka. Yo, Zerka, what did you just say? I missed your whole speech. You missed my speech? How do you, you're blocked, bro. You have to get blocked. It's happening. Dennis, speak and bring something where we don't get scared that you're lowering society with your consciousness level, bro. Like, say something. And everyone say where you're from too, like your skin color and all that. Let's make it racist. Let's make it weird. Okay? Because look, I spend my whole life being the nice guy to all races, and you know what? I'm fed up. I'm tired, and I'm bored. Frankly, I'm bored. I'm bored of being the nice guy. It's like, first of all, why are Asian people trying to drive like that? Right? Are we gonna pretend like stereotypes are not real? I remember going to Spain, meeting these French girls in Barcelona, and she's like, "Oh, you're Albanian? Yeah, all Albanians work as bouncers. So what do you do back home?" My two buddies started laughing so hard, and I remember this is like 2016. I remember I'm like, "Yo, are stereotypes this real, or am I shocked that like Nick the other day said to the Albanian guy, he said, 'Shut up and make my pizza.'" And I'm like, "Yo, they do have pizza shops. What the hell? It's like a thing, man." All right, Bam Bam, what do you got? Bam Bam, speak. You fucking look. You got your snowboarding profile picture. You think you're so fucking cool. Bam Bam, I swear to God, bro.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. What do you got for us, Golden Gloves?
You said, what do I got for us?
Bro, you suck, bro. You suck. That's a bad microphone. Let's try 420. All right, 420. What do you got for
Yo,
us, bro? Like, look at your.
what's up, Zherka?
What is up with the bong thing?
I am white.
Oh, you smoke weed. You're
On
420 weed,
occasion,
420 weed stoner groiper.
that is I.
Yeah, and that what is that? Your swimming pool?
Yeah.
And so what do you get from smoking weed? Like what happens when you get high?
So I basically just view it as like a life enhancer. Like I don't need it, but it's like why wouldn't I? If it just makes life better, right?
And how
Like if
long
I
how
can, why
long has it
wouldn't I?
how long has it made life better?
Mm, I think 7 years.
Damn, you didn't get bored in 7 years?
No, I feel like it's like almost impossible to be bored on it. For me, I feel like everyone's different. I feel like everyone has different brain chemistry. Maybe it's
I
not,
I
it doesn't work
remember
for some people.
I remember people saying weed is a gateway drug, and I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. And I
No,
start,
it's true.
it is true because I start
Yeah.
smoking up, and I'd be like, all right, let's go on to fucking heroin. This shit's weak. And I was
No.
like, wow, that shit went quick, man. That was crazy. And you know what's crazy? As much as I hate weed, because you can never. Here's the truth about weed: you don't remember what happened. I hate people. The one thing, weed people always say I can get work done on it, and I don't doubt that. Some people are just freaks like that. But there's one thing no one can disagree with is you don't. I remember going to watch that Gladiator film, the second one, and I said, you know what? Once in a blue moon, once a year, I want to do something that's not. I don't want alcohol. I don't want anything in my system like that. I want some weed, and I want to be absorbed by the movie. Like not off my attention, but I don't want it to feel like work. I just want to feel in the masterpiece, right? And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, I went to watch a movie twice, and I don't remember the movie at all because of the weed. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I loved it. There's this thing about weed that no one talks about, and it's like, have you ever gotten fired from a job and had a month where you just smoked up? And everyone wants to talk about that being like a depressing thing, but it's actually one of the most awesome things you can go through. You get really introspective, you get really soft, you get really weak, but it's almost like you have to see yourself in that ugly version of yourself because you got fired. You want to see all the ugly, all the weakness, all the inwardness, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it cushions a lot of falls, but I've noticed that people don't grab the new job right away. They take that portal into weed land as a detour. So that's where it's fucked up. But man, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's been so many years in my life, and this is like 7 years ago when weed was a thing for me, but there's been so many instances, 2016, 17. I think that's like the last time I really consistently smoked. And I had no friends, no family around, and it was just there for me. I cannot explain it to you, but it was there for me. Like the earth was there for me. Now looking back, if you guys could go in my eyes and see what happened, you guys would be like, "Whoa, Zherka, you lost everything being a stoner. Like you are the worst stoner in the universe." And that's why I hate weed, because when you're not good at something, if you could be an effective stoner and show it. I'm sure there's someone out there who's like an effective stoner. That must feel awesome, right? That must be the best feeling in the world. You get to get high off your kite. Just I used to get so smoked up. I'd go to the shop and I would tell them, "Hey, give me the shit that makes me scared. I want to be scared in life." And they'd be like, "What do you mean you want to be?" I'm like, "I want to be so high it gets I get paranoid and freak out. The reality is just shifting." And the lady at the weed shop would always look at me like, "Oh, he's going through it. Like he needs to forget. He's deeply trying to forget whatever happened to him." And it's true. I spent so much of my life trying to forget what happened to me. And you know what's weird? We can blame weed all day, but you could do that sober too. There's a many human beings drifting in a dream state, trying to forget something that happened to them. And it's usually tied to conscience, something you felt you did wrong. And it's very interesting. Like, there's times in your life where you get knocked back. And instead of you thinking, damn, bro, life can be cruel, you think, oh, I deserved that, which is fucking terrifying, right? There's been friends who have been fucked over by their friend group, let's say, from a free deed they did. They did something free, right? They just made a new incision on the friendship, and two or three of your friends stopped talking to you, let's say. There are those types of fiery people who immediately say, "Man, fuck those guys." But there's a lot of humans who internally feel like they're pieces of shit when that happens to them. And they go start smoking up. And usually if you ask any stoner how they started, it's usually from loss. There was a loss. Or for how I started, it was curiosity. They were, bro, in 2020, 10 to 12, no, 2012, there was so much mega hype about weed. And I'm trying so hard to be fair because only intelligent people can say both sides of it, unless I was running a political channel, then I would just say weed is gay. But I'm trying to bring some intellectual kind of nuance here. I'm telling you, in 2012, the whole world smoked up. Do you remember those days?
But yeah, well, I mean, I was still in high school, so I actually didn't even start till college. So I would suggest that, like, to even, wait as long as you can, to let your brain form.
Bro, I graduated in 2012, and I remember thinking to myself, wow, the future is weed. It's everywhere with Wiz Khalifa. It's on TV. It's on. But now kids are cracking Adderalls, bro. Adderall. Like, and a lot of people think these are like demon portals right away. No, they're not. All drugs are linked to spirituality. The problem is your subtle energy bodies are burning quickly through that spiritual function. That's the scary part. It's like it would be so funny if all drugs was just demon portals like right from the get-go, because then no one would do them. But no, there's the hook part that anything psychoactive is linked to spirituality, which a lot of people get shocked that they're like, wait a minute, so painkillers are linked to spirituality? And I'm like, yeah, what do you think it is? What do you think it means to have no body, to be lifted off your karmas? Is no pain, pain free, painkiller. That's what spirituality is. The ultimate painkiller usually comes from pain, though, right? If you're doing it correct. But a lot of people don't realize that why all of these systems people put in themselves to change their alchemistry in their body. A lot of people don't realize that these systems are showing you the good you could work towards, you could build up to in a quicker speed that burns you out until there's holes in your aura. And now it becomes demon portals. Now moral progression goes down, irritability goes up, etc., etc. And a lot of people are confused. They just think it's black and white. And I'm like, no, no. The scary part is you can get hooked onto spirituality by changing the chemicals in your body, let's say, from an external source, right? But this is a horrible idea. This is a horrific. I mean, it sounds like you, 420, it sounds like nothing bad ever happened to you. Like you, 7 years, you have not one bad thing to say about weed. Do you even remember one of those years?
I mean, I would say I remember like pretty much all of them. Um, I mean, there's been like, yeah, you have like some panic attacks like sometime, like, but that's like less than a
What?
handful, you know. And then you kind of like that, like you said, you kind of like that, you know. You go to the
You're
dispensary, you ask for the stuff to give you the attack, right?
you're you're having panic attacks and that's the good shit?
Yeah,
Okay, that's relatable. All
but
right.
I
Well,
mean, like you said, like it comes maybe like you start from like a place of loss. I mean, like maybe that's kind of relatable for me. Like I did start like after a breakup, but I don't
did
like
she smoke too?
uh yeah, not just like casually.
And did you guys smoke together?
Yeah, sometimes.
What would you guys talk about?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem. She was uh Jewish 33 life path.
Don't you fucking bring
Yeah.
that shit in here.
Yeah, I
You have
didn't realize that
Groiper
till
in your
last year.
name? Why are Groipers so into numerology?
Yo, you
Am I
got
the
me into it, bro.
bro? I got you into. You're a stoner schizophrenic seeing numbers everywhere. I thought the Groipers that are into numerology, I thought they're doing it to, when I'm memeing it hard, I thought they're memeing it hard.
I
They're
mean,
actually, you guys are serious? That's
no, there's
pathetic
definitely
as
like,
that's
nah,
why
you know,
Nick,
there's some truth behind it.
bro, come on.
I don't take it seriously because like I'm also Catholic, so you know, like I don't like pay attention, but like I recognize like my numbers. I'm a double
Is,
nine, you
is,
know.
is, you're at double nine, so you hate your own numbers.
No,
Wait, what did they say? Nines are the drug addicts? Like, stop it.
that is what they say, right? Yeah.
But come on, that's like 90% of people online. And you know what's crazy is, um, Groypers are addicted to pattern recognition. Have you noticed that? Like the one time Groypers give Nick a hard time is for the Charlie Kirk thing because the patterns are just everywhere, and Groypers keep themselves safe from black people that are like gonna stab them in the back of the train, right? They keep themselves safe with pattern recognition. That's like their thing. So if you see a Groyper get into numerology, it's like that's like their only jutsu is pattern recognition. It's so easy for them to fall, but you have to be a fucking moron, bro. Like, let me tell you this, man. If I wanted to debunk numerology in 10 seconds, I would show you all of the bad things that happen on your best year, and you would be freaked out. Like, the mind goes to the association. Now, I'm not those idiots that don't try things. I love trying. As much as I was laughing and memeing about it, especially with my inner team, dead hex, we'd be like, yo, is this numerology shit real? Yo, let's keep going with this. It was so funny. It was so funny until you realize if some random Jewish guy is benefiting off the paranoia, which you could say that about politics too. Like, have you ever loved a political figure who is benefiting off your political fears? It's kind of the same thing as, let's say, numerologists, right? That's why I point people to Nick, because I'm like, when Nick doesn't get exhausting to listen to because he brings the Christ in the language. Then you got JW, who look at this guy, bro. This guy, get in here, bro. This guy doesn't have God in his side. He's just mathematical equations on consciousness. Let's go, Dave.
Zherka, what's up, brother?
Yeah, take over, man.
Shit, what you been on lately? What do you want to speak on?
We're talking about weed right now and why this young groiper is destroying his life.
I mean, essentially, the gropers love to negate things. They love to detach. This reminds me of the Nietzschean concept, the metamorphosis of the spirit I've been talking to you about. We're all instilled with the dragon, which are these essentially encoded norms that we pick up on from our environment, our parents, our peers, the culture, all these ideas that are subconscious to us, the shadow, these different type of ideas. Now Nietzsche talks about the three different stages. The lion, which is all about negation. It is important to rebel against these subconscious forces. The the thing is, when you destroy things, you got to build something more beautiful up afterwards. So, in terms of self-deprecation through drugs, different type of shit, you got to focus on being able to be productive. Now, what does weed smoking weed do for you? 420, what's going on with you, brother?
Like I said, it's just a life enhancer. I don't like notice any memory loss when I'm awake, but I will say this, Zerka, it definitely does suppress your ability to remember your dreams. So I find that interesting because you've been, talking about, dreams a lot and how it all ties together.
How old are you?
29.
Ooh,
What
okay.
are the problems you're dealing with in life specifically?
Honestly, I don't think I have many problems. I
What is
couldn't
it that
even
you
name.
value? What are your values?
He,
Because
he,
like
he
this is
likes
what I'm talking about with
he likes
the
smoking weed
metamorphosis
and
of the
being
spirit.
white.
We're
He
all
likes
programmed
he
to
likes
value
smoking
particular
weed
things.
and being white. White skin, green joint.
Is creativity a value, something that you value? Like me as a music producer, I used to smoke weed thinking that it would enhance my creativity in terms of making music. As a researcher, I've noticed that sometimes, doing 90 minutes, 2 hours of research, you get a little stagnant. You might be able to smoke and then kind of regain focus and get back to it for another 90 minutes, 2 hours. But at the end of the day, it's really all just coping. There are things in this life that are beneficial to what we do, though. So I mean, it really is all about identifying what you value. What is it you're trying to do with your life specifically?
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I think as long as you're not like abusing it, it's okay. I mean, um,
I mean, this is the problem. I
yeah.
speak about entropy. Entropy is vagueness. Vagueness is the devil. You're being tempted by all these vague characteristics in your life. You need to increase specificity. I ask too many people what they're interested in life, what they value. See, we're talking about value creation and Nietzsche's concept of meta, transforming the spirit. We're all born to kind of value the same things, especially nowadays. We're all programmed to value consumption, consumerism. We're not producing as men anymore. There's no exceptionalism, so the corporate leeches are able to coordinate with each other and manufacture demand because we're not producing anything that's actually interesting. They have to nudge our consumption patterns through the culture, through different mechanisms. So we don't even know what we value anymore. There's a necessity to invert these fucking imposed value structures and get back to rational values. You're talking about losing your girlfriend. Do you value relationships, bond, intimacy, these type of things, which are human rational values?
No, I wouldn't say I do, but I definitely do agree with you. I'm definitely way more of a consumer than a creator. So
Now, this is what I
it's
was
just it
talking
is what it
about in
is.
terms of like there's three characteristics to the metamorphosis of your spirit. There's the lion, which is the rebellious side, which a lot of the groypers love to negate everything, to destroy, to burn things down. We're dealing with a major resentment crisis that's fractured off into two extremes: the woke left and now the woke right. Resentment is the spirit of murder. Like I said, when you burn things down, you have to be creative. It's one thing to be destructive, but you have to have the creation that comes behind it. Otherwise, you get stuck with emptiness. There's a nihilism problem that's so prevalent. This is why suicide rates, anxiety, depression are so prevalent in our culture. And who pops up with the quick fix alleviation of these symptoms? The corporate leeches. This is all imposed upon us. We need to be able to rebel against it. Now, the first stage is the camel. I skipped over this. Nietzsche talks about the camel, which is the load bearing. First of all, you got to do difficult shit. The load bearing shit should be affirmed by all the. I spoke about the dragon, which is like your parents' values, the cultural values. If you're into consumerism, you got to work hard to be able to buy things. Now, of course, there are necessities. You want to live in a nice place to be inspired by beauty, to get into a flow state, to be inspired beautiful women, to be able to access beautiful women. You got to have your shit together. You should be able to have your body right, transform your physique, your finances, your environments to access these beautiful things in life, which is the camel I spoke about. Then the lion, which is the rebellious side that the groypers embody so much, which is postmodernism in general, which is blurring the lines of objectivity. Now, the third stage is which I'm getting to is the child, which is all about this like unfiltered, children, they don't obey or disobey. They don't rebel or obey. It's like this childlike imagination. Now Zherka talks a lot about introspection and contemplation. You got to be able to look inward and have the imagination to see yourself the way God intended you to become and develop your own value structure essentially. Nietzsche speaks about the Ubermensch. He says God is dead. And then Dostoevsky extrapolated even further, so anything is permissible. You notice the degeneracy in our culture, where people are looking for the quick fix coping mechanisms rather than building their life up, doing difficult things, rebelling against these fucking the cultural degeneracy that's so prevalent amongst us. Whether we're talking conspicuous consumption, whether we're talking the hedonism of someone like Andrew Tate. You look at someone like Tate. He worked his ass off as a fighter, but wasn't necessarily rewarded from it. So then there was this like rebellious side to him that made everything and prioritized pleasure, the hedonism, the transitory pleasures of life. He's all about his cars and his jewelry and bragging about taking a private plane to play video games, all this shit that comes and goes. Who's that benefit? The corporate leeches. Look at our fucking cell phones. Look at everything that they give us. It's made to break down.
J Dog,
Everything in
are the
life is
corporate leeches leeching you?
no, of course not. I'm connected to the eternal, to the objective, to God, answering God's calling, which means active labor. Love made visible through active labor. I'm talking about doing difficult things, ritualizing discomfort, defining my value structure. I love to be able to come in here and impact people like this kid 420. Bond with Zherka. He's on some deep philosophical shit. I appreciate the transformation he's made of his life. He came in, he was more on the comedic side, taking risks to gain notoriety. Now he's having
Have,
meaningful discussions. I come in here, uh, I needed to sit down for a second so I could get kind of checked into the conversation. A little discombobulated at first, but essentially, it really is important to develop that childlike imagination and ruminate inward.
I'm interested to know what other degeneracies that you indulge in on occasion. Not that you want to, but no one's
I
perfect,
mean,
right?
I smoked marijuana consistently.
No, but I mean
My
now.
girlfriend
Do you
hated the
sometimes
smell of
still
it, so I
smoke?
gave it up. I think it is degenerate to depend on
You gave it up
anything.
because of your missus?
What's that?
You gave it up because of your girlfriend?
Because I felt like intuitively it was degenerate to depend on anything. The smell of it. I live on the strip in Las Vegas,
I
and
love the smell of it.
when people are smoking weed, it is kind of just degenerate in terms of God. in terms of being
Was that because you did
wholeheartedly
degenerate
sacrificial.
things when you smoked weed, or was that because other people do degenerate things when they smoke
No,
weed?
it's really it's about understanding that God doesn't take half-hearted sacrifice. You look at the story of
But
Cain
I
and
thought you
Abel.
didn't believe in God. I
Look,
thought you didn't believe in God.
look at the story of Cain and Abel. There's way too many Cains
I thought.
running around
Do you believe in? Do you
there's
believe
not enough
in God?
Abels amongst us. God, I'm talking metaphorically as the creator and the person
But
we're all
why can
converging towards.
no one can take you seriously because you bank your faith on God and then you don't even believe in
No, I
God?
said that God, truth, objectivity, beauty are all synonyms and synonymous with each other. You can define whatever's at the top of your value hierarchy however you want.
So what if someone
Some
defines
people it's
weed as the
God,
top of
some
their
people
value
it's the
hierarchy?
prime creator,
Is that
some people
wrong?
it's the programmer of the simulation. It's kind of irrelevant. I'm talking about the place that we all are
That's what
converging
I mean.
towards.
If you've decided your definition of what life means, can't other people
This
do
is
the same
irrelevant
thing?
to the conversation, which I'm talking about defining your value hierarchy. What's at the top of
Yeah,
your
no, but
value
that's what I'm
hierarchy?
saying. Why can't other people have a different value hierarchy than you?
No, it is as long as it's authentic to themselves. I was getting into talking about the Ubermensch concept, the Overman. Nietzsche talks about, and I'm not necessarily a huge fan on Nietzsche. It just applies to this conversation, the broader
Yeah, I don't think
ideology
you
of
have to be
Nietzsche.
a fan on anyone to
We're
agree with their
talking about too
concepts.
many last men, the conveyor belt man, people that aren't authentic and don't have autonomous nature to themselves. They're sheep. Nietzsche talks about the sheep or herd morality, the slave morality, where you notice that too many times
We need a good shepherd, bro. We need a good shepherd.
virtues of the past have been inverted.
Yeah, let's talk
By
about Christ, bro.
what's that?
Yo, we need a good shepherd, brother.
Yeah, I'll say this.
A
I'll
good
say
shipping?
this.
You said what? I speak English.
Christ is God.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was
Christ
about
is
to
God.
say that. Damn it!
All
You
right.
stole my.
And Christ
But
isn't
even if not the perfect, the way you should be acting out like Christ
He
in
exactly.
said
me.
speak
I
English.
I believe that Christ is the prototype for humanity. It's a model for the best a human
Yeah,
being
that's
could
a good
be.
way to phrase it.
Are you
That is a
familiar
good way
with
to phrase it.
That's
asymptotic
satanic,
systems?
bro.
Are you familiar with asymptotic systems, Caleb?
No.
An asymptotic system, an asymptote in any system, is a limit that can be approached infinitely and
Okay,
never
so what do
reached.
you believe, J
We
Dub?
could
What do
never
you believe?
imitate Christ completely, but our goal is to imitate him
Exactly.
and align with his ideas as closely as possible. We could never completely master ourselves, become a
Do you believe we're
master
just simulation, J Dub?
martial artist. Yes, we are literally in a simulation if you understand quantum mechanics.
Yeah, but
Do you understand
yeah.
the wave
I
particle
guess we
duality of nature, proven by
say that
experiments
again.
like the double slit experiment?
If
There
I
is
may
no
explain.
physical
Explain to
reality independent of conscious observers. Even to extrapolate further, the top NASA physicist, James Gates, says that
Do you
what
talk to your
befuddles him,
missus about
quit
all
cutting me
this?
off, little boy. Shut the fuck up and say something meaningful if you want to cut me off.
I'm asking you questions, brother. You
Okay,
need to
and when I'm
chill out.
speaking, you need to let me finish my point before you cut me off because you're killing the flow. Okay,
Yes,
James Gates
sir.
is the top theoretical physicist for NASA. He says that what befuddles him more than anything is that when he looks at these adinkras, which are geometric representations of the space-time continuum, he's finding at the root of every equation self-correcting linear binary code, Hemming code, which is the same code that our computer, our internet browsers run on. It's literally binary code. And if you understand quantum mechanics, everything everything is energy, and in physics, energy and information are indifferentiable. It's literally discrete packets of information, zeros and ones. It's either who is one. You're saying Jesus Christ is the one, right?
And our flesh
I mean,
Yes, sir.
is the zero.
As I said, Jesus Christ, God, beauty, love, truth, objectivity are all synonyms and synonymous with each other. They're interchangeable. They're literally indistinguishable from each other. So the point, as I was saying about asymptotic systems, they're limits that we can approach infinitely. This is the same. Are you familiar with Zeno's paradox?
I've heard it before, but you can talk about it if you want to talk about it.
We're talking about limits that we can approach and never reach. which you said life is all about imitating Jesus Christ. This is how you display love for the opportunity to be alive. We can never literally encompass Jesus Christ completely, but our goal is to be as wholeheartedly devoted to that as possible. This is how you develop a subconscious belief that you deserve things, because in this virtual reality, the certainty of your belief is the number one factor in your outcomes. Do you believe you deserve to achieve your goals? What is it that you're trying to become in life?
I've already become it.
What have you done? What is your biggest achievement in life?
I'm currently performing in the Le Crazy Horse Paris cabaret show,
Oh, that's
living in
interesting.
Paris.
My girlfriend just mentioned she's a resident performer at the Bellagio at the Mayfair Supper Club. She was on Broadway herself, and she noticed that
Amazing.
isn't Christina Aguilera performing there?
Yes, she did. She's not there now, but yes, she did.
And she loves Christina Aguilera, kind of models her
She's my cousin.
artistic side after her. She said that she has a goal to perform there. So congratulations on that, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a very cool show. Lots of beautiful women, amazing people.
What do you
You
do?
get to meet. I'm a tap dancer specifically. I do my own solo act tap dancing. It's
Congratulations, brother.
my pin post.
And you understand it's all about specificity. I'm sure as a young boy, you were probably river dancing in Ireland.
Yeah, and I grew up in New Zealand.
I'm kidding. You sound Irish. You were probably
Right.
you were doing
No,
that
New
river
Zealand.
dance and
I'm a
shit. You
Kiwi.
were tapping and shit, and you knew one day you wanted to perform over there at the what was it called again? One more time. At
Crazy
the Crazy
horse.
Horse, right? Yeah, exactly. But you know that
Yeah.
specificity in your goals is everything. You had your own value structure. You knew what you wanted, even though a lot of people will think that being a male dancer is zesty. You knew that it was who
Oh
you
yeah,
were
you always get
authentically.
mistaken. Always people say this. Amen. You got to be authentic to yourself. That's for sure.
That's the conversation we're having is the dragon is who people want to conform us into becoming through old culture. These are the norms that in more primitive times were useful in minimizing
Yeah,
chaos. In
sin,
tribalistic
sin.
settings, it allowed for order, it allowed for cohesion. But as a post-industrial era where times are different, we don't have tribal settings anymore. We don't have these type of town hall like dynamics where we can come together and have meaningful discussions. We're kind of left to our own to fend for ourselves. And you gotta you
We do it on spaces, brother.
exactly. God bless Elon Musk, where we can have these type of discussions.
JW, man, why you a deadbeat father, man? Why don't you go see your kid ever, nigga?
Man, this is one of my fucking sons right
You're
here,
my son.
Jalen.
You're
You're a
my
little
bitch,
faggot, man.
JW.
Hey,
You're my
Zherka,
bitch.
get this faggot
You're
off the
my
stage.
you're my bitch, JW.
This is a little
You're my
faggot
bitch.
that stalks me,
You're
and
my
I don't
bitch.
let him. You see what he
You're my
posted
bitch.
in your motherfucking jumbotron, Zherka?
JW, you're a bitch. You know that shit?
Jalen Watts. When I catch you, it's death.
You're a bitch, JW. You know that shit?
It's you motherfucking pussy. You'll never come on my stage again.
Yeah, you're a pussy. I don't care, nigga. No one listens to you, pussy.
Zherka, get this pussy off the
What you
stage.
gonna do about it? You wanna go shit, JW? You're a bitch. You ain't killed nobody, pussy.
Nah, this is
You ain't
this
killed
is
nobody,
the
pussy.
problem of resentment. Just like when you break a
You said you
bitch's
was gonna kill
heart
about
and
a
you
hundred
tell her
different
you're no
niggas. You
longer
said you were gonna kill
interested,
about a
these are
hundred
the
different niggas.
stalker ass
You ain't killed
bitches.
no niggas yet. You ain't killed no niggas. You said you're about to kill a hundred different niggas, pussy. You ain't killed
Look,
nobody,
I can't
pussy.
even address you because this isn't even you. You're hiding behind a veil of anonymity on the internet yapping. You are
No one's
literally one of
hiding,
my
nigga.
biggest
No one's hiding,
fans.
Wait, did
nigga.
you actually say
No
This
that?
one's
dude
hiding,
comes
nigga.
into every space I have and dick rides me. Talks about, I got my notebook out, big bro. He's bitter because I won't let him on stage anymore because he doesn't say anything meaningful. He's a troll. And I'm putting my foot down because so many people are bullied on the
You're a
internet.
deadbeat.
Girls,
Shut up, you little pussy.
motherfucker, no, I ain't no
Yes, you
deadbeat.
are,
I go
pussy.
see my child every at the end of every
Yeah,
month. I
once
got
a
her
month,
coming out here to
pussy.
visit me.
Once a
Not
month.
everything works out perfect in life. My daughter is more spectacular than you, faggot.
I'm
You're
sure
a
she is,
fucking
pussy.
internet troll, dick rider. You're fucking bitter. Zerka, get this dude off the
Your notes are
stage. This
weak as
shit is
fuck. Your
pathetic.
notes are weak as fuck. I seen your shitty ass notes.
Okay,
You have
be
no
specific.
intellect. You have no intellect.
Be
You
specific.
read chat
Substantiate
GPT,
your
nigga. You
claim.
read the same little quotes every time, pussy. You have no intellect. Like,
Listen to this dude, how your whole voice is already shifting up.
what you mean, pussy ass nigga?
You are a pencil neck little faggot. You know, in real life, if you saw me, you would fucking
Come to
literally yes
Yonkers,
sir, no
pussy.
sir
Come
me.
to Yonkers, little pussy boy.
Look. derailing a beautiful sacred conversation to
Ain't
come in
nothing
here and
sacred,
get
nigga.
my
You was reading some
attention like
chat
a little
GPT,
bitch.
nigga.
You
You
know
was
you're
reading
gonna end
chat
up
GPT,
dead.
nigga. Nothing
You're
was
gonna end up
sacred about
six
that
feet
shit.
deep.
Nothing
No,
was
ain't
sacred
nothing
about that
chat
shit, bro. You were
GPT. I
reading
use
chat
chat
GPT.
GPT as a
Nothing was
research
sacred,
tool.
bro.
Jalen, you will never come in my space again. You're
No one's
blocked.
listening to your dumbass space, nigga. You're not going to Matan.
Motherfucker, look, I came
You're
in
not going to
here.
Matan,
I don't
nigga.
know what the numbers are. I
No one's getting on
quadruple
your
every
podcast,
space I
nigga. You ain't
go
going.
in.
You ain't
You
popping
are
off
my
never,
biggest
nigga.
fan.
You're
Pussy,
never
you've been
popping
in
off,
every
nigga.
space I ever
You're never
had.
popping
You're
off,
bitter
nigga.
because I put my foot down and said, you're not coming in my shit anymore because you're a little faggot. Look at the faggot ass post he put in your jumbo,
You was
Zherka.
getting dick, man. You was
Dude,
getting
put
dick
in a
down.
fucking
You
picture
was getting
of some
dick down, boy.
homosexual
You
shit.
was getting
I'm
dick
in here
down.
talking about God's message and you allow this faggot on your platform.
JW, you said God is fake, man. You ain't even fuck with God's message,
I
man.
never said God is
Yes, you
fake.
did, nigga.
No, I said I act as if God exists.
Nah,
I said
nigga. We
I
heard that shit,
believe.
nigga. You
I
a
don't
liar,
It
necessarily
nigga.
believe in the biblical creation stories, but I act as if there's a possibility to it. I don't believe in any supernatural phenomenon on this planet. I
When's
know
the
the
blow
fact
gonna,
is,
buddy? When
if
you
I
gonna kill?
could,
When you gonna
I,
kill
I
somebody?
would I would send you to
You said
God
you
the
was about to
first
kill
chance
70
I
different
get.
niggas, man.
I'm gonna
When's the
pay
first person you
anybody
gonna
to
kill, buddy?
locate you. I already got the drop on you who you are. You're a fat
No,
little
you don't got
fucking
to drop on
incel.
nobody, nigga. You don't got to drop on nobody,
What's
pussy
your
boy.
name? What's your name then? Say your name. I'm
Jalen
JW
Watts.
Lucas. What's your name?
Jalen
Your name
Watts.
isn't Jalen Watts. You're
How much you
known
wanna
for
bet my name ain't
posting
Jalen Watts?
faggot
Look
ass
me up,
shit.
pussy.
I'll only let you around me to
Come in
fucking
Yonkers. Come in
rehabilitate you
Yonkers,
because you're a
pussy. Come
despicable
to
little
Yonkers,
troll. You don't live
pussy.
in Yonkers.
Yes, I do, nigga. Come to Yonkers with a pussy ass, nigga.
I'm not even gonna go back and forth with you. You
Exactly, man.
already
You
know what it
scared. You
is.
ain't allowed in my
You're
hood, nigga. If you
bitter.
come to
No,
Yonkers, it's
you're
on sight,
bitter.
my nigga.
Pussy,
It's
go
on
ahead and
sight if you come to
substantiate
Yonkers,
about my
pussy.
notes. You said my notes aren't good.
They're
Fuck you
subpar, man.
talking about?
Your notes are subpar. They are chat GPT generated notes, man. That is some embarrassing. You do not know how to research like a real nigga, man. You use chat GPT to research, man. I researched the book.
Who
I
doesn't?
steady. I steady,
Zerka
man.
is in here literally saying that he is fucking a cybernetic machine and uses ChatGPT as well. It's
Your
called
IQ is sub
transhumanism.
50,
You're
man.
gonna
You
get
are a
left in
low
the you're
IQ
gonna
nitwit.
get left in the dust. You're my son.
You are a low
You come in
IQ
every
nitwit.
space and listen to every word I say and you're bitter because I put my foot down and said you're not coming in my shit with your fucking
You are
homoerotic
a low
nature
IQ
anymore.
nitwit,
The shit
brother.
you posted in here, pussy, I swear to God, if
Yeah,
I
you got
could,
dick.
I would
You got
literally
dick.
choke you to death. You
And you
know
won't do
I'll
shit about
crack
it. The
your head
pussy you
open to
getting
the
fucked
white
and you won't
meat.
do shit about
No
it, pussy.
problem.
You won't do shit about it. The pussy you get your dick, you got dick down and you ain't gonna do shit about it, pussy ass nigga.
Hey yo, what's up, Zerk?
Why would you ever allow
I
this
just
shit
want to
on your
say
stage?
that.
Zerka,
Cause he don't
get
fuck
Hey,
with
this
I
you. No
just
one
want to
fucks
motherfucker
with
say,
you,
out of
bro.
here.
Zerk,
You're never
bro.
gonna
I'm a
pop off.
big
You're a
fan,
nobody, nigga. You're a nobody, nigga.
massive fan of
I'm the most
Zerk.
successful in here by far.
No, you're
Zerk
By
not,
got me
nigga. No one
far.
through
knows you,
some of
buddy.
my
You're not going to
darkest
Matan Evans,
times.
buddy. No one knows you,
I'm
nigga.
gonna
Stop me,
choke up.
follow around.
I'm gonna
Pussy, you
start
are
crying.
dead. You are dead.
Zerk,
For doing this in here right now, you are fucking
You
dead,
said
you
that's about
little
80 different
fucking
niggas. No
meathead.
one's dead, nigga. You got your dick. You got dick
keep
down by a
talking,
dude.
keep
You're a
talking.
faggot.
Let's keep talking,
No,
keep talking.
no,
Let's
you're
go.
despicable.
Keep talking,
Zerka,
keep
are
talking.
you even in here right now?
No, he don't fuck with you,
Zerka,
man. He like
bro.
you getting
Oh,
bitched around, boy. What
such
the
a
Listen,
big
fuck?
Zerka,
fan.
for you even entertaining
I
this,
smack you like a little bitch. That's
I'm
what I
gonna
did.
beat your pussy ass up in real life too,
I'll
Zerka,
smack
for
you like a little
entertaining
bitch.
this.
You won't do shit about it, pussy.
I promise you, if Zerka's in here and he's allowing this shit, I'm gonna beat his
No,
ass up
you're
the
not.
first
Zerk
chance
would
I
fuck
get
you
to.
up.
On
He would
camera.
fuck you up.
On
You're a
camera.
bitch, man. He will fuck
On
you up. You're
camera.
about pushing 70, nigga. Yo.
Yeah, Zerka would fuck you up, bitch.
No, he would not.
Yo, JW, why did
Yo,
your page get banned?
yo, how do you guys
Your
Say
know?
bio
what?
says you got banned.
Zerka, get this faggot off the stage.
Who is he?
This is a faggot ass little
I'm
troll
JW's daddy. He
that's
looks
one of
up
my
to me.
biggest
JW looks
motherfucking
up to me. I'm
fans
his
that
daddy.
got
I
bitter
am his
because I
daddy.
booted him out
He
the
looks up
fucking
to me.
stage the other
He
day.
looks up
Zerk,
Now
to
he's
me.
mute
like a little
these. Mute
female.
them.
JW looks
You
up to
ain't
me.
never broke a female's heart and she stalks and fucking
Yeah,
turns into a
JW
fucking
looks up
little
to me, nigga.
domestic
He asked me
terrorist.
for advice. He asked me for advice on how to learn, nigga. He looks
Man,
up to me.
this
I'm his
this can't be
father.
productive.
Jalen, are you JW's community?
Yeah, man, I'm his daddy, really. I'm from Yonkers. I smack him around like a bitch when I see him.
Oh my god.
Yo, hold on. JW, he was from your community and then he
No, no, it ain't no community. I fucking go crazy. These are all
No,
my
you said he's
children.
on your
These
he's
are
on
my children. And I swear to God, it's
bro, you
six
said he's
feet
on your
deep,
he's following you on every Twitter space. How do you guys know each
literally.
other?
I don't know him. He's a troll. This isn't his name. He's a despicable little troll. And every time he come in a space, he'd post the type of shit he posted in your jumbotron up
Yeah, you got a
above.
dick in
So
your
I take it
asshole,
upon
nigga. You got a
myself
dick
to
in your asshole,
facilitate these little
faggot.
demons and
You little
fucking get
faggot, you
this
got a dick in your
despicable ass
asshole, nigga.
profane shit out of here. We were having a sacred
And you got a dick,
conversation.
you got a
This,
dick
This
in
bro,
little
your
yo,
asshole, you
motherfucker's
little
this
can
is
end up
faggot.
dead.
nasty, bro. This is nasty. What the fuck is? You gotta go, bro.
Get him out of here. I already told you from the beginning. I don't know if you took a little smoke break or what. Get
I
this
don't
faggot out the
smoke.
fucking stage. Jalen Watts, you're never coming in my shit again, pussy. I hope that
Yo,
was worth it. I hope it
what
was
the
worth it.
fuck?
Nah, this dude used to stop every single session. J Dub, run a space. I got my notes out. J Dub, J Dub, J Dub. And he used to come in everyone else's space and post shit like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna rehabilitate this little bastard like I do. And I turn these little fucking nihilistic incels into better men subtly. Each fucking session, I chip away, I chip away, I chip away. I get them acting like fucking gentlemen. Like I said, we're in here having a sacred conversation about philosophy and meaningful things, and he comes in here and derails shit like a demon. And you allowed that shit.
Hey,
Bro, I didn't know your haters go this hard. This fucking
Bro,
hilarious.
you know, what type of haters do you deal with? You ain't got no haters?
No, I got haters, but I let everyone talk, and they don't follow me around spaces. That's crazy.
Everyone's got different capacity. I'm the most hated and the most loved. This is the nature of the game. Like I said, I run numbers
Wait,
up.
so he follows you, finds you in every space
He
just to
begs
troll
me
you? That's
literally every
fucking
day.
hilarious, dude.
These
What the fuck?
motherfuckers, you hear, oh, you ain't got no notes. I inspire motherfuckers to start taking notes because they see the videos. I got fucking stacks of hundreds of notebooks. I take notes trying to slander me. You use ChatGPT to take notes. Duh, motherfucker. That's why I'm the smartest in this room. I'm smarter than everyone else combined.
No, you're not
Literally.
smarter than Zherka.
I promise you I'm smarter than Zerka.
I don't know about that, dude. That's JW. I feel like you're very what do you call that? Metabolic limb system kind of brain. You know, you go very into sports, but I feel like JW. We
You think
need you to
philosophically you understand esotericism more
no.
than me?
Check this out,
Even your
JW.
specialty,
We
I'll humble
should.
you right now. Let's discuss it.
All right. Here's the question, JW.
Let's go.
Is God real?
Objectively, yes. Of course, there's intelligent design behind the simulation.
Where's all this simulation stuff coming from? Is it Elon we blame?
I mean, I remember when I first started becoming aware of the simulation, I saw a video of him talking about the hypothesis, the simulation hypothesis, which states
Sure.
either we develop the technology to simulate life and we choose not to, or B, we have some type of apocalyptic event that prevents us from doing it, or C, we're in a simulation right now. If you extrapolate, given our technological advancements, how long is it before we have simulations indistinguishable from organic reality? At some point, we're going to be able to do it in this life. So it's overwhelmingly likely that we're in a simulation. That's irrelevant. I look at deeper facts like the fact that we are literally in a digital universe. The universe isn't smooth and coherent. It's individual discrete packets of information, bits of information, hence the term from theoretical physicist John Archibald Wheeler, the same dude that coined the term black hole. It from bit, it the universe emerged from bits of information. We are literally in a simulation. At the root of every equation is bits of information, zeros and ones, which
Wow.
can be
There's no
extrapolated
meaning
into
to that, eh?
zero. Wasn't the devil reduced by Jesus to zero? Isn't that what the Bible says? The one is God. We all emanate from the source, God. We're all ideally converging back to the source, which is the one, the low entropy state, the state of the universe when time began. Maximal order, maximum compression. This is why time is linear, time only moves in one direction. These things are all correlated. Yes, we're in a simulation. We can't speculate on the transcending scale. We don't have the complexity to do
Wait a
so.
minute. Who said time only moves in one direction?
It's a fact. I mean, now you can get into ideas of indeterminate causal order, nonlinearity, retrocausality, these type of things. But if you understand the second law of thermodynamics, which is that entropy in closed systems always increases. This is how we perceive the passage of time, literally. We can
Yeah,
travel
that's just
forward in
Maya.
time if theoretically we have a rocket that can travel near the speed of light, which is 189,000 kilometers per second. We could travel forward in time, but we cannot theoretically in any type of way travel backwards in time because that would violate the second law of thermodynamics.
That's just wrong. Earth time is linear, physical. Soul time is rhythmic, backwards, and spirit time is
That's possible, but it's semantics. We
spiritual
don't have
time
any
is
science to
simultaneous.
I like the idea of abstracting these type of ideas onto personal development. I talked to you about retrocausality. Someone like this little faggot Jalen Watts, who's in
Yo,
here
what
trolling
the
every
fuck?
day,
He's not even
making
here
these
to
terrible
defend himself.
decisions. The day I catch him in real life and I crack his head open to the white meat, when he wakes up in a fuck from a coma 3 months later, he realizes the nature of his ways and he's like, God damn, this is no way to live. And then all of a sudden, retrocausally, all of his mistakes led him to that point of realization that he's now reoriented towards God,
What do you mean?
and he
How would
starts
you?
to
How would you
and he
even
starts
know
to
it's him?
converge towards objectivity, towards
What are you
truth,
talking about?
towards
How would
beauty,
you know
towards
it's him
love.
if it's a troll? You wouldn't even know it's him.
No, I know his voice. Everyone knows him. He's a historical troll, and I turned him into one of my biggest fans. That's why he stalked me onto here. He
How many
probably
followers does
messaged
he
you
have? What do you mean historical troll? Why are you complimenting him?
because of the shit he would do. It's not a compliment. Being a troll is nothing to hang your hat on. This is a
What?
major problem. Don't you know that suicide rates amongst girls, in particular teenage girls, is more than doubled over the last 10 years because of these type of dynamics where social media allows for fucking a veil of anonymity where these pussy motherfuckers talk freely over the internet. They don't have any skin in the game.
Breathe,
So
bro.
girls aren't
Breathe.
built to be bullied and they fucking are committing suicide. It's a fucking
Who
problem.
said that? Yo, fucking speak up. Don't hide.
Go ahead.
Someone's attacking you, JW.
Let's
No,
let's
no attacks. I'm just saying, can we go back to like talking about how let's talk about this line. Like, have you guys read about the Gospel of Thomas?
Yes.
So there's this saying, seven, with Jeshua, direct words from the Lord from historical context. Fortunate is the lion eaten by a human, for a lion becomes human, and unfortunate is the human eaten by a lion, for a human becomes a lion. So
Facts.
So what I believe this to mean, alongside with Theodore J. Nottingham, one of the writers who wrote Discovering the Gospel of
They're
Thomas.
gonna call you a heretic, by the way. You know
Mm,
that.
it's fine what they call me. I know who I am in the Lord. So
Okay, you Groypers are awesome today. Like one Groyper smokes weed and totally disregards the whole. Groypers usually hate weed. You're like a rebel. Then now we got talking about the Gospel of Thomas. Like this is big no in the Groyper community.
well, I was not aware, but it's okay. But I believe Groypers at the end of the day, they believe that America comes first, and I believe that if we're gonna raise our consciousness to, like in this instance, for this saying seven, when you eat flesh from a living being that died, say a pig or a cattle, that that being, its consciousness is transferred to you in a way. It becomes human. His essence transferred to you, gives you strength, nutrition to continue moving. But so do. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous right now. Um, I feel well. Thanks again, Zherka, for this is my first time meeting you. It's a pleasure to be here in your
I
community.
appreciate having you. I
I'm
love
grateful.
the hat, dude.
Thanks, man. Because so Nick Fuentes, I'm also Mexican, just
You're also
but
you're also Mexican. You're a fucking traitor, dude. Don't say that about Nick. There's one thing that always bothers me is when people bring up Nick being Mexican. It really, I don't know. Yeah, it's like I don't have a racist bone in my body, but it just doesn't sit right. Like was it 20? He's so close to being like the last time we had the full on real deal was. Do you remember the Richard Spencer days? You
yes,
know, in a
Hell Hitler.
strange way, in a strange world, just for entertainment's sake, because Nick is so relatable with his comedy. It feels like me, or like it just when he makes jokes, it feels like brotherly. But uh, Richard Spencer was like a different animal where nothing was humorous. It was all him being like this. Yeah, it was all like
Mechanical.
him being a villain. And so I've always maintained, now this is like crazy to say, but because I'm so close to Nick, but I've always maintained that I've been more curious about that parallel universe, a universe where instead of Nick, Richard Spencer's at the top. In my head, I think that's even more memes. And I know this sounds like boomer talk because I'm from the Richard Spencer days, right? That I've been with Nick since day one, but really, I started off before Nick. It was Richard Spencer, right? And he had it going, and it's so
I was
yeah,
aware of
it's
them.
so
Yeah.
sad he didn't get that far in the white space. If you notice, like he would have had the best memes. He would Richard's
The
yeah, for the
culture
culture, he
wasn't
would have
at the
had.
time.
Nick is almost like too perfect how he protects and guards his image, whereas Richard Spencer, he was like, I am evil. You know, he had that. And
He
in
played,
my head,
yeah.
I feel like we lost all the memes. Like he was supposed to be our, you know, people say, Zerko, you're supposed to take over the internet. You're like the meme guy, right? I'm like, bro, there's been better people than me. Like Richard Spencer. I don't know. Now he's kind of like very, very
Washed.
calm. Like what happened? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the he he became more down
Well,
to
no,
earth.
he went
Like
through a
I
divorce.
think
That's what happened to him, right? The
mm,
divorce made him like grow, you know, individuate and grow up in a different way. But there was a time where I'm
yeah.
positive he was doing cocaine. Do you remember those days?
Hmm. I know who's that psychologist that did it? Not Carl Jung, but his the guy
Right,
who took
Freud.
his information.
Yeah,
Freud. Yep, I know
yeah.
he did
JW, you
it.
don't do any blow, do you?
Hell no. Never would I do any. I've never smoked a cigarette.
Oh,
I've smoked
sure.
marijuana, but even like I said, it gets to a point where it's unnecessary, and it really is all about making
Yeah, I
wholehearted sacrifices, and
Yeah, yeah. Go
it
back
just
to it,
doesn't
Dave.
serve
What was
anything.
your question? You know?
uh, okay. So I
Yeah.
also did that, but that's in the past. But what I'm trying to say is my main point, what I'm trying to get to, is not even the gospel really, Thomas. Is about the scripture where Jesus, the woman who's been bleeding for like years and had all the doctors in the world come to her, and she famished her savings and everything, and nobody can save her and heal
Yeah.
her. But then when Jesus came
Bro,
along,
Zerka, get
right,
that shit out of your
and she,
motherfucking jumbo, bro. Despicable shit. You got these little faggots posting this shit, man.
How do I get rid of it?
I don't know. Just
No, no.
delete that
Seriously,
shit.
how do I have to individually block
Fucking,
them?
I mean, it's just delete the motherfucking shit.
I want
It's
to
just
delete it, but
despicable
tell me
shit.
how. How
I
do I
don't know.
How do I delete it, bro? Tell me.
I don't know.
I could just go block
I
the
mean,
channel, right?
420. Do you think that shit is funny? Are you a faggot?
Yeah, no, I'm actually
There, I
laughing.
blocked him. I blocked him.
Oh, it's not about anything
No, I don't want
personal.
to see it. I don't care
It's
about
the
you. I don't
fact
want to
that
see shit like that,
having a meaningful discussion, you get this type of despicable homosexual type shit. It's
bro.
so
Why are you,
common, and then you
maybe
got this
block the dude.
420 troll
JW? Why are
sitting
you
laughing about it.
JW? First of all, I don't want to see that shit. I'm not defending
No,
just
I
you. I
understand.
don't want to see it on my phone. That's
I
why
know because there
I've
could be
scrolled
young
down.
kids in here, so it is
No,
a
Those are
no,
form
not
of
older.
because of that. Not
pedophilia.
because of that. Because it's fucking gross. But I'm telling you right now, it doesn't go away. I even blocked the account. It doesn't go away. So JW, you got to stop bringing your demons in here, bro.
No,
Like,
how do you allow people? Anyone can just post into your jumbo.
what is the jumbo, bro?
This is what they call the shit at the top.
Okay, I thought it was the spaces, bro.
I mean, this is what I've heard the term called when they're like, post it in the jumbo.
Bro, chat, help me out because it's actually disgusting. Like, first of
It is
all,
very
try
despicable.
try and get under his skin in another way.
It's
Let's say
not
so.
about getting under my skin. I can simply scroll up. It's about the despicable nature. You guys are talking about God and God being in here with us and earning
Bro,
God's
stop. That's
grace.
your guy.
What
That's not
type of
my guy.
demonic shit are
Why are
we
you saying
talking about here?
that's not our guy? That's your guy.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
JW, you could just post something
Facts.
else and then it'll go away. If you just got to post something else to make it go away.
That's all you had to do.
Yeah, this guy's just complaining about it, not doing anything about it.
Guys, do a timeline cleanse. Like, keep that shit clean. Because
Why don't you have the courage to come on to social media with your actual name and face? 420 Weed
yeah,
Grocer.
first of all, I want to mention that, guys.
Hiding my power level.
As funny as it is to be a troll, eventually, after a few years, bro, imagine not coming to if you're gonna troll and really want to feel the thrills, put your face to the camera, bro. That's real thrills. The anon shit, it's funny, but it's in a weird way. It's like nothing will transpire. JW doesn't know this guy. He can't walk by him on the street. Nothing can happen. It's like fake tension. But now, if this guy cammed up, that would be content out the ass. Jalen, what's his name? Jalen, cam up, bro. Cam up. Just do a face
No,
reveal.
that's the point that I'm making is we can have sacred conversations when people have skin in the game. I believe everyone on social media should have to pay for verification.
First of all,
That way, the
JW, you
conversations we can differentiate between the real motherfuckers that can stand on business and if they want to troll, at least their name and their identity is known, so the consequences are there. Rather than these pussy motherfuckers that hide behind a veil of anonymity on the internet and they want to bully women mostly.
Okay,
Hey
look,
guys, I
I'll
just
go
want to
public
say,
one day. Like I'll put my face out there on this account one day, but right now I'm hiding my power level. My power level is extremely high.
In what way? I haven't heard you say anything meaningful at all.
I
You were in
sensed
here
it too.
fucking butchering biblical passages. You haven't said anything meaningful the
No,
whole
I didn't.
time.
No, that wasn't me. I didn't say any biblical passages, but I will say this: Jesus Christ is God. That is a fact.
Amen.
And in my
Amen.
opinion, I
Okay.
don't think he like would care if I like smoke some weed after I finish my work for the day.
Yeah, that's kind of a really strong argument. There's a
How
lot
do
of
you
people.
demonstrate in life concretely your love for Jesus Christ? What is it that you're doing on a day-to-day basis that displays active labor?
I
Active
It's
I
not
labor.
love everyone.
unrealistic.
I love everybody.
Do you love Jews?
Of course.
All right.
It's a tough one, but you gotta love them. All right, let's get some more people in here. We like fiery people. We like angry people. Guys, don't be afraid to argue in here because it seems like JW is rattled. Jalen got him
Oh hell
rattled.
no! It's just despicable. Ain't nothing rattling me. We can get into meaningful conversations at any point, whatever you want to speak on.
Bro, you guys had lore. You guys even spoke like you guys have
No,
spoken a
that's
thousand times.
Zerka. Yes, every space,
Can we
every
bring
day.
Jalen?
I
Bring
can, I
Jalen
can,
back in here.
no, I can show you the DMs of him begging me. Why do you think he's so bitter? This is how bitches
Drop the
act.
DMs, dude.
This is
All
when you
right,
fuck a
man. Let's stop
bitch and you
talking
make
about
her
the dude.
come and then you fucking one night her and she's fucking pissed off and slandering your name to all of her friends. This motherfucker, oh this fucking bastard, he raped me all and all the fucking despicable shit. This is what I'm dealing with. A stalker ass fucking fan. Literally.
Well, we got Skittles in here. She says she's thumbs downing you, bro.
No, no, I'm
No,
not. But I do
no.
want to say, Zerka,
Skittles
just
is a
really
big
quick.
time fan of mine.
Yes, I
Oh,
love JW. I love you too, Zerka. But really
love
quick,
you too.
just for reals though, you gotta either get a co-host for
Me
a
too.
second. So if you don't delete the porn in your nest, it will nuke your account. Um,
What? Dude,
I
you
Yes,
guys are
swear
it's
to goodness
toxic, bro.
despicable.
gracious.
These
How do I
motherfuckers are
delete it?
sophisticated trolls that are
Yeah,
trying to
and
take
so
your page
never
down.
let Jalen
Why do
back
you
on
think?
your. He's done it to me too. There's
Oh, you
hundreds
can
and
just
hundreds.
remove it.
Well, it
Wait,
takes a long time. So
Why do
you're
you
the only
think this
one.
is a new page I just
why
had to
isn't it
start two
taking
weeks
off?
ago? These motherfuckers try to get
Um,
your page taken down.
Yes, that's exactly what happens, Zirka. So you have to get it deleted or it's gonna nuke your account. I swear to
I will
God.
pay anybody $5,000 if they could produce any information on Jalen Watts. Legitimate.
Yeah. So like
Five
Dude,
if
thousand
you
Zerka,
dollars to anybody that can give me his actual name, his actual address, anything about him, and I'm gonna get him done
okay,
filthy.
so should I just turn off the space?
no no
How do I
don't
want to
no
get this?
no don't close the
yes.
space with that in your
No.
nest. You gotta delete it. Like you
I did
Oh,
delete it. It
there's
said
hundreds
it
of them.
said
If you
post
co-host
removed.
me for 2 minutes, I'll drop right back down. I'll
Yeah.
delete it for you. I do it for Gary all the time.
Okay, that's your job. Can you clean up all of that
Yes,
stuff?
thank you. Carry on, guys.
All right.
W women.
W woman, yeah. See,
No, ain't
Skittles
nothing
is useful.
rattled. Of
Should
course,
we
I'm used
follow
to the
Skittles,
trolling
chat?
too. But listen, Zerka, as a leader, you have to demonstrate concretely how to do the right thing. And we're trying to make better culture on social media. I'm not on here to fucking troll and be a goofball. I'm trying to earn God's respect. This is how I materialize incomprehensible things into my life because I know I deserve everything I'm striving for. This isn't
Yo,
virtue signal. This is actual virtue. I'm
yo,
self
JW.
sacrificing. I will crash out on a motherfucking real life.
Yo, JW. I gotta say this.
Some
If
people
if
are
you
made for
wanna
violence. You know about the Archangel Michael, right?
Hell yeah.
No, but wait, you're talking about earning God's respect. So I think if you actually are serious about that, you need to forgive Jalen Watts.
I'm very forgiving, but I think there's been a lot of misinterpretations of Christianity in order to make men risk averse and feminized, make it through tolerance. and through sacrifice of traditional masculine values like being aggressive. If a motherfucker ever spoke and did these type of things, I would crack his head open to the white meat in real life and have this motherfucker literally him like convulsing on the sidewalk. It's not a game. We need to get back to the mob era where strong men demonstrate that when you violate, there's consequences. That way we can have sacred conversations once again. And dudes aren't trying to fuck each other's women and these type of things.
Yo, these
Hell
guys
yeah.
fucking up, bro.
We
These
We
have
guys.
gotta
godly
we gotta crack
Jay,
conversations.
bro, you got
skulls.
some haters on you right now, bro.
Of
Yo,
course I do. These are my biggest fans. I swear to God, I'm not
No
exaggerating.
doubt.
These motherfuckers idolize me.
yo, can I ask a question?
Hit it.
Yo, appreciate you for bringing me on, Zerka. Yo,
Yeah.
JW, are you against drugs?
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Why?
It's a coping mechanism for uncertainty in life. Instead of doing difficult things, you're trying to alleviate short term. You're
Okay.
looking for short term alleviations of your uncertainty,
Okay.
of your
Okay.
fears. You're
Do you?
terrified of being inadequate. And so you're looking to numb yourself from reality. You want
Okay.
to negate the reality of your life instead of creating something beautiful. This
Okay.
is the discussion we're having.
Do you believe that God created Earth?
I believe that the creator of this experience created Earth and the entire universe. Yes.
Every living thing.
As I said, I believe there's too many instances of intelligent design in the
Well,
universe.
here's the way I look at it,
Bruh.
bro. Like
But he's like Jordan
every
Peterson,
living
bro. He
thing
doesn't
was
believe
created
in
by
anything.
God. That means a marijuana plant is alive.
He's an angry
Magic
Jordan Peterson
mushrooms are
fan.
alive
No,
before
I'm
you
not
pick them
angry.
off
I
the
love
ground.
everyone in here. This is out of love. This isn't out of hate
Yeah, but you're
or fear.
boring. You're like the old guy who's like Jordan Peterson and tries
JW, are
to
you
not be
black?
biased
Oh, ain't nothing
for
boring
anything.
about me. Pussy, you're just an incel at
Like
home,
choose a
pissed
path
off,
already, bro.
yapping
Like
your mouth. You're pissed off. You're
choose
projecting
the
your own
path,
anger.
bro.
You're
I'm
angry that you're
JW,
fucking doing dishes right now in order to live rent free at your parents' basement.
bro. I got
JW,
Rolly
did
in
you
my
say if you were
profile
No,
picture,
you
black
bro.
don't
or
have
not?
a
Chill
Rolly. Who
out.
gives a fuck about a Rolly? You're projecting putting a Rolex in your profile picture like a faggot.
Well, you care more about kitchen sink than a fucking
You can't
Rolly,
even
so
speak
I might as
English.
well speak about it.
You're probably down in Tijuana,
Zerka,
literally
we
at some
love you.
fucking
Get these
corner
minorities out
on
of
the
here.
fucking burrito stand on the
Bro,
corner,
all I
working for
want
your
you to
parents.
do is choose
I
a path, bro.
I
Be
got rid of them
Catholic
for you,
or
Circa,
be
so I
nothing.
can, yeah.
What path
But
have you chosen? Let's have a meaningful discussion. What are you interested in life? What are you striving for?
I'm interested
Thank
in
you,
the I
Skittles.
am.
Happiness,
Okay.
love, and peace.
I am is everything. Those are the most
Yeah.
powerful words you can utter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, of
Go
course.
ahead
Like
there
and
was
say
over
I am
you're
200
something.
of
What
them
you're
in
are
there,
you?
by
cool
the
and
Say
way.
all.
I am something.
You're cool and all and everything, but I just get tired of just hearing your like Jordan Peterson. You can't choose a path. Like, bro,
Listen, you have a bias because Jordan
choose the
Peterson and
Catholic.
your idol Nick Fuentes have been going at it. Jordan
Bro, I
Peterson
don't,
is one of
he's
the
not
most
even my idol,
meaningful
bro. What the hell,
professors and
bro? You
lecturers
don't
in the
even know
history
me,
of
bro.
humanity. I
You
can
don't
already
even know
tell
me,
by your little incel tone. You're an
bro.
incel. You
Bro,
ain't had pussy in the last 16 years.
bro, I'm literally
You're
married, bro.
probably
I could bet
32
you're
years
not even
old.
married,
You got pussy on
Yo.
your homecoming, and that
bro.
was the last time,
My
and now you're
JW, are you
firstborn
resentful.
is
Christ
a boy.
Maxi?
My firstborn is a son, bro. You probably don't have any kids, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Yes, I have a daughter.
You have a daughter? Oh, too bad, bro.
No, it's not too bad.
I'll
She's the
never
most
have daughters,
incredible
bro.
thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful, but
Who is
I
this
don't know.
speaking? Is this
This guy sounds like
Antrax?
Pierce Morgan.
Martinez, bro. Martinez, get it right.
All right.
Martinez.
I see you. Look at you, little incel. At least you have a picture of yourself on there.
Of course, I'm not scared.
All right. So what is it
You're
you're
cool
striving
enough, bro.
for?
The last spaces you're in.
What is your goal in life?
Hold on, hold on,
Be
hold on.
specific.
Hold on. The last pieces you're in, you're on point. You were chill. Like that was super cool. Like Circus said, you're fired up. That's so cool.
No, I'm in here.
But
I was having
now
a
I'm growing
meaningful
tired of it
discussion
because
and
it's
some
like you don't choose
profane
a
shit
path.
happened.
No, hold on. Can you listen?
Go
Like
ahead.
you like I love everyone, right? I love
I
the way
love
you
you
talk.
too.
It's
I
cool,
love
Love
you,
you
brother.
too.
but it gets
If it ain't
tiring.
love, it's fear, literally.
Yeah, yeah. But let me hear me out. Hear me out. It just gets tiring, man. Like it just sounds like Jordan Peterson at some point. Like
You gonna take that, Jay?
choose Jesus. Jesus.
Let's
He is the
go.
I am. You
Let's
know.
go.
I just said for you to say something meaningful.
That's
I am what?
that's
Fill in
meaningful.
the
What the
blank.
fuck?
I
What
am
else is
what?
meaningful in
Say
life for Jesus?
I am something.
I am that I am. He's the creator of everything.
Yeah, and
Or
he's in
that's
each
his
and every
So
one
tell
base.
of
me
He
us.
something
lives inside
authentic
of
about
you.
you.
He lives outside.
Tell me something
I
authentic
don't know.
about you. I am what? Fill in the blank.
I am light.
Nothing else,
I am
bro.
son
It's
of
Be
just
God.
I
specific.
am.
See the
all you need to,
vagueness? You
all you
sound
need
like the
to,
devil right now. You sound
nigga.
like a virtue signaling little demon. You can't even be specific about what you are. Say, I am, fill
You're
in the
not. It's
blank.
because you're not listening. There's nothing else to add. It's
Bro,
just
this guy
I
JW is a fucking
Oh
am.
my
retard.
god, this guy again, bro. Zherka, let's go.
No, talk to
Yeah,
him
sir.
directly. What's your quarrels, bro?
JW, you're retarded.
Okay, substantiate
No,
that.
no, he's smart, but he's like Jordan Peterson. He can't choose. Like he
No, I
thinks he
am
has too many
choosing. I'm
options.
choosing objectivity,
Then
love, God,
choose Jesus.
beauty.
What the fuck?
I choose
Like
Jesus. I love Jesus. I said he's the prototype for humanity. We
then why
should
you
all
keep saying
imitate
like,
him.
oh, I
It's
don't
not about
believe.
worshiping him, it's about imitating him actively.
You know, the interesting thing is, everyone confuses that in life you have to be like Jesus, and that's not the point. It's what he did for you and how he rose to his identity fully. Because everyone listening to this is going to die someday. How are you going to meet that fatal end? When he says it's the prototype for the human, I kind of like that a lot because what effectively what he's saying is what JW means to say is that's how you run a perfect incarnation is to die for the world, your family, your friends, and everything in it.
Yep,
Of course, that's why I brought up
100%.
asymptotic systems, which an asymptote in a system is a limit that we can approach infinitely and never reach. We could never fully imitate Jesus. We can never master ourselves completely. We're always going to deviate from pure mastery. But that's the point of life, aligning with God, beauty, love, truth as much as we can, day after day.
That's what reincarnations is for, to perfect yourself each time.
Yo, Zerka, can I ask a deep question about death? Because I think you might have the esoteric knowledge on this.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm thinking about the
Don't
differences
jump.
between
Don't think about it.
burial.
Don't do
No,
any
no.
of that.
So between the difference between burial and cremation, because like, so as the Catholic Church, used to always say they were against cremation up until like 100 years ago. Now, like you could say you could do either or. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's either or. Just make sure that it's after 3 days, because there are cases where they can't feel it. You don't want to. There these idiots who light the body up in the first day. That's horrific. You got to look at old initiation science for the mysteries, right? Look into the mysteries, and if it aligns, like most initiation science that's from the mystery centers, why it aligns perfectly with Catholic teaching most of the time is because that is the truth. All the mystery centers on earth before Catholicism we're talking about the same thing. The whole world prepped for the coming of the Christ, right? The Christ was even before our world, in the Atlantean age, even in the Polarian age. You could go up. It's all linked towards the Christ, right? You have to remember now. For burial, it's 3 days. This is like a huge rule that everyone breaks for some reason. They don't wait 3 days to cremate the body. This is the only thing you should focus on, right? And another thing is look into everything I post, right? I've been waiting many years to post all the notes because if I post in my first year, I get a lot of backlash. Now it's kind of like most people get what I'm saying, they get where I'm coming from. And so it's not that much. Let's just say if I approached my incarnation, 100, it just all the notes, 100% right in everyone's face, they would have cut my head off. They think I'm like some demonic person, right? You can't just give people all of that right away. You got to start with faith, right? And then, they're going to ask questions that are much deeper, like explain this. Like, so there's a lot of Catholics who think Ezekiel's bread is talking about bread, which if you study the mystery centers, mystery language, you'll know exactly what it's talking about. You don't even need anthroposophy, right? You could still figure it out. But then, there are Catholics who believe it's talking about a bread recipe. And I would just say, look into the notes, right? Always go deeper into the notes. Um, but it is shocking, and it shouldn't surprise you either that the truth even when it's blurry, like Catholics talking about Ezekiel's bread being just a recipe, even when it's blurry, it's pointing to something. Now, let's delete the Catholic Church from everyone's mind right now and focus on the Orthodox and the Protestants. They do not know what the fuck they're talking about. Like at all. At least when the Catholics are it gets blurry, you can dig and figure out what it means, right? You can align it to mystery language and you could be like, oh shit, of course this is what the bread means. This. You can look into the anthroposophists and what they said, or the theosophists that were, in the West. You can align all that and map it out yourself. But if you go towards the Orthodox, they got some things right. I know they're more into the mysticism, and you look at the Protestants, and they're a lot more like JW. Like most Protestants are, I'll do it myself, which is great. I am energy, right? JW's highly individuated. He wants to do everything himself. God doesn't even exist to him. Which, if everyone has to act in their deeds, in their willing, like JW, believe it or not, you have to act like there is no God in your acts, because let's say your faith goes low. When not every day your levels of faith are going to be high. What happens when they're very low? Well, you still have to move in the world. You still have to act. That's why JW is what I call like he's like a physical Christian. What you want to be. Don't ever just write off someone like him as a total atheist, right? Like he's right there. He's just not cooked enough yet in his feeling and his thinking, but his willing is he's doing it by himself. You're going to be tested many times in life where, man, I know a lot of people who stay in dreamy states and they go, I'm not going to do it until I get the feeling of the Christ and all this kind of whack nonsense. And it's like, no, no, dude, 1/3 of your life is going to be very bleak, not filled with faith. You have to remember that. Okay? So you're going to have badass modes where you're in atheist mode. You don't want to admit it to the world, but you feel like an atheist, right? Your light is not shining as hard. And that's the confusing part about faith is a lot of people think, a lot of people even make posts only when they feel faithful, right? And then they'll go away for 2 weeks from Twitter because they're like, man, I just don't have it in me. I don't have that fire. I got to see some Zherka stuff. And it's like, no, dude,
Oh shit.
a lot of the mechanical parts of your life where your faith is low, you still got to get the work done. You still 100% got to get the work done. But I'm telling you right now, if thinking, feeling, and willing are not organized every day in your life, horrible, horrific shit is going to happen to you. If JW goes his whole life not, running away from his feeling and thinking and just focusing on willing, horrible shit will happen to him. Being unbalanced is a horrific position to be in. It's like Zerka was never a scholar or good in, I was never like never got an education. I was never a smart kid, but I am forced to balance that side of me, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I'm doing it, actively, even though now it's fun. Studying is fun. JW has a bunch of these notes. They make fun of his notes. That's a good thing, right? You don't want a jock that's not balancing his thinking side. He should be writing these notes. Also, earlier, I know this is too late to say this, right? It's not really, but it's bothering me. Someone said, don't use AI, almost like it's satanic or something. Like, dude, no. All this technology is here to deepen your faith. Okay? Like it should make technology should make your life go smoother. You shouldn't run away from it. What are you gonna stop driving to work? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? All right, let's bring some other people in here.
Just to touch on that, I agree with what you're saying. I'm having more of a, I have more of a scientific mind. I'm looking for objectivity. I'm looking for some type of tangible proof. But, when you look at someone like Kierkegaard, who talks about, blind faith and the leap of faith, he is the godfather of postmodernism, which is subjective. Faith is subjective. And it's something that you have to find uniquely as an individual. And I do feel a spiritual connection to the creator. I'm just at the point where I feel inauthentic if I don't have some type of factual way to communicate it at this point. But we're all speaking about the same things. We're speaking about objectivity, beauty, truth, the heaven that we're all trying to converge towards after this life is over.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's up, JW?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Cool question. You believe that there's an intelligent mind, correct? That is superior to us.
Yeah, 100%. You
That
notice that
controls.
there's a hierarchical
Yeah.
nested scale of reality. Like when we go one scale down to the biological level, there's 40 billion cells that are conscious. If you take a cell out and put it in a petri dish, it displays consciousness. It doesn't have the complexity to understand what it's like to be a conscious being. So we don't have the ability to speculate on what God is like, or what God's capacities are. Go ahead.
Great.
Hey, poopy pants.
All right. So, okay, great. So you admit that there's a great intelligent mind. And I respect that. And you use the word simulation. Let's say I use the word simulation. When you see a baby born, right? When the baby is born, you see a reflection of that intelligent mind, right? Do you agree? Oh, he hopped off.
A baby
Oh,
displaying an intelligent mind? No.
no,
Babies
no, no.
literally go through a neotenous stage of helplessness.
No, no, no.
This,
Sorry, sorry. That's not the question. I said when a baby is born, you see a reflection of that intelligent design,
oh
right? Of
yeah,
that
of course.
intelligent mind. So when you see a baby, you see purity, right?
Yes, every baby is born completely pure.
Great. So don't you think that there's intentionality, right? Just for as a clarifier, there's intentionality from an intelligent mind for purity within humankind, correct?
Yeah, I would say that
Okay.
objective morality is the greatest evidence of
Hey,
there being
poopy
a God.
pants.
Get the RTD off. This is another one of the stalker fans that come in space after space after Skittles. Get him off the stage.
All right. So okay. So
These
we have.
motherfuckers are demonic trolls. It is what it is. The chosen ones get tested the hardest. This is how you develop capacity.
Yo,
You know, tension.
your haters are funny, bro.
Patience is growing.
Um.
Right, patience.
No, I
So
have enormous
all right.
patience. It is
So
what it is. But when we're having a sacred conversation and God's in the room with us, I take this shit serious. I'm not a fucking troll goofball. So go ahead.
okay,
True.
okay. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna make it quick because I don't want to be like I don't want to hog it up. But so obviously you admit
Hey,
that there's intelligent. Oh, go ahead, Zerka.
hey, poopy pants. Who the fuck is Zherka? Who the fuck is Zherka?
This
Who
is
the fuck?
literally a dude named Brett
Yo, Jay,
Feinsod
you
who
got some haters on
Nah,
this.
it's a dude named Brett Feinsod that I came up
That's
on
crazy.
X from a this kid Elf's platform. I went viral and shit. I go in there before my last page got taken down by these fucking perverted weirdos. And he literally walked in on his girlfriend playing with herself to my page. So he's fucking
Yo,
dead
what?
ass. This is not an exaggeration. This
Yo,
dude
you have
Brett
high.
Feinsod,
You
they follow me around page to page. You'll see all the people in here. This is all well known. But let's not give the trolls any attention.
you have very creative trolls, bro. Like this is what happens when you breed a high IQ audience and then they kind of get upset. And
Hmm.
you don't want that kind of troll, bro. They will
What do
literally
you
never
mean?
leave you alone.
I just
But
said, like, do you understand the dialectical process? Tension is a
yeah.
necessity for a higher order understanding. We've got our idea of things. There's antithetical energy. This is literally the problem of evil. How do we differentiate between real and between good and evil, between
Oh, we
real and
can.
fake?
No, we
This is
can. We
what the
can.
devil was created for. So we could distinguish between God and the devil. We understand who the angels and demons are from these fucking trolls. This is proof that we have free will. We're gonna choose either the light or the darkness. These motherfuckers are in the dark, and they're demonic fucking possessed trolls that are trying to test me, and they're just giving me more capacity. Because this is literally how you resolve contradictions through the dialectical process, the warlike energy. I go to war with them. I'm not passive. I'm not a fuckboy, feminized modern male, the last man who seeks comfort. I'm cool with having uncomfortable conversations and dealing with this type of shit. I'm used to this my entire life. I've been tested in this type of way. I'm the one at the party. All the bitches are on, so all the dudes are trying to pillow talk me. They
You know
get a
what's
chance. Oh,
interesting?
JW, that JW
Yeah,
guy.
do you guys notice how many times JW says I'm this, I am that, I am, and he's actually invoking the name of God just so he can be something in the universe. He's pretty much saying thank you, God, in every sentence, but he doesn't even realize he's doing it.
Oh, I do
Ne-
realize. This is why I
most
wanted the
humans
kid to
don't
say,
realize
I
what when they're
am
saying I
a
am, they
designer.
don't
I
get
am
it.
spectacular. I am going to do this. I believe in self-fulfilling prophecies. This is the greatest thing that God gave us was the
Well,
ability to tune
answer
into that
that,
frequency.
JW. What do you mean by self? Do you even know what self
Yes,
means?
the self is when you bring the darkness into the light. You're either individual, personal, unconscious, or the collective conscious. The dragon that I was speaking about earlier. How we have the lion essence to us to go to war and negate these type of things that don't serve us. We have to become aware of our blind spots, which oftentimes are allergies and addictions. Things that we're afraid to do. We're afraid to ritualize discomfort, have difficult conversations, come on social media because we're getting trolled and perceived to be bullied. You think this is a problem to me? I'm a real life psychopath. I'm a real life serial killer. It's not a game. I'm built for violence. I will get to the violence really quick. I will motherfucking bust these dudes' heads open in real life to demonstrate my love for God. Active, active love, active worship,
Wouldn't
and also
wouldn't
the
the lion be
addictions,
eating
the
you at
things
that
that
Okay,
we
point?
I don't
shouldn't
know
be
if you can
doing.
say
We
all that
shouldn't
on a
be
clear
partaking
space,
in
dude.
trolling. We shouldn't be trolling on the internet because it's despicable culture. God doesn't respect that type of shit. We all have our authentic calling from God. Some of us were put here to partake in violence and do the difficult shit that other men weren't built to do. And those of us that do have a responsibility to pull others up. This is multiplicity. We're all going to the same place. We're all children of God. We're all individuated units of this system of consciousness. We are all connected. We're all in this shit together. Some of us are leaders and some of us are followers. And we got to make the few into the many. That's what we're here to do. Unify with God's love and knowledge. Go ahead, though.
I agree, and I think everybody should raise their hand if they want to go in order. I agree with you, JW.
I don't like the
Don't
raise the
troll,
hand
you
shit. I,
know.
I like the energy of just people
JW.
That's
speaking out.
cool.
JW, are you Catholic?
I was raised Catholic.
What are your thoughts on confession?
I mean, I think it's important to become aware of things that you're ashamed of and to integrate. This is what he's talking about, the self, where you're integrating your unconscious into the conscious mind and developing a whole. You become whole. You shouldn't be ashamed of anything. I was talking earlier about retrocausality. These trolls that partake in this type of degenerate shit, once they become aware of their ways and start to reorient themselves upward and transcend their previous states, all the fucking things they went through in the past, all the shortcomings and all the despicable shit led them to that point where they realized and then became righteous and started taking the narrow path rather than the wide approach, the fucking broad approach, not being able to say no to things. And confession, it raises awareness on things that you're ashamed of, and you either have to, this is what I was talking about with the problem of evil. A lot of people don't believe in God because of suffering. How could an omnipotent, all-powerful God create suffering? These children in Africa that are dying of starvation and a tsunami killing thousands of people. This is what allows us to differentiate between good and evil and make a choice for ourselves, having free will to actually do the right thing and to become consistent and predictable in that selection. So once you become aware of your blind spots, your addictions and allergies, things that you're not doing enough of, and things that are destroying your life, things that become pathological, it just increases probabilities for you to eradicating those type of things out of your life and actually becoming one with God. But go ahead.
Hey, Andre.
Hey, what's up? I'll try to keep this brief. Hey, Zerka, I really enjoy your modernized take on Rudolf Steiner. I like how you can take it to the modern lens. But I had a question for you. A lot of people tend to think of life in terms of good and evil, when in reality, I think it's a better distinction to put it between duality versus non duality. And I think your content is very inspiring in terms of how many books you post and how you can kind of engage people to be inspired to read a lot of books and get really informed. But I think the tricky thing is when it's like what Bruce Lee said, when one person's working 10 hours a day, the next person's doing 11 hours a day. There's always someone working harder, being more competitive. So, and I think when you enter that competitive mindset, sometimes that can be like a duality type thing. And how do you balance between going between the duality of working really hard and then that flow state of non-duality? And I think non-duality is either maybe flow state or just more of a restful state. I'm just going to throw that out there, land my plane there.
Yeah, I know. I've always started my day for as long as I can remember effectively from my mentor is about the past, present, and future. The past is my meditation, right? I lock in the morning. Concentration is my intentional suffering package, what I chose to suffer with 8, 12 hours a day. That's the moment, right? I try and stay as conscious as I can there, even if I'm being reckless. And the future is about prayer at the end of the night. So I split out my energies like that, right? And it's interesting because if you don't have a system of being, life can get really fucking weird. And weird not in a cool way, not in a mysterious way, not in a puzzle way, but weird in an ugly way. And I've always maintained that you cannot spend enough time on earth to read every fucking book and get to where you're trying to be without going deeper in yourself. You remember that your memory storage is way deeper than any book you can, grab a hold of. There's even been people who have gone through near-death experiences and spoke different languages afterwards, and they don't know how they tapped into that part of their mind. And so I've always maintained that being has to be mastered with the external. The external is going to happen to you anyway. You're going to go college, you're going to read all these books, right? So I've always split it up into this kind of like, okay, there's me being, and then there's me in the external, thinking and reflecting and all that other stuff that is out. It feels like it's outside of being because I'm identifying with those things, right? Like if I'm studying, I study enough till I identify with studying, and then it becomes a problem, right? Out of the awareness. But talking about duality, you should never see it as duality. You should just see your two eyes and the eye in between. There is the third thing. You should see the world as spirit and matter meeting, right? There's a lot of these people who just want to see the nice woo woo, nice parts of the world, the spiritualized parts that, oh, everything's love, everything's great. Always remember that society is divided into people who get very fallen from the light, Luciferic. These people are hippies. They love staying at the beach all day. It's not a bad thing. It's just you can be off balance on that side. These hippies never get anything done. And then the other side is the guys who make a lot of money, but they're so cold that maybe they get inwardly dry, like JW. He doesn't have God anymore. He's inwardly dry, right? But he's dominating the external. And we love to see the external dominated. Like you could even make millions of dollars going out in the world and doing all that. But what is it for? JW gets balanced by his daughter, right? Or else he would be so dry that he would turn into a
No, brother, I
legitimate,
get balanced
he
by
would,
serving
he,
God. I've made it clear that
well,
I'm here to serve God and the people.
Well, I always wonder about you guys who have kids and still don't believe in God. It's like, shouldn't your kid bring you to that?
I do believe in God, but we're talking semantics on the definition.
All right, okay.
And then I think also when we talk about non-duality, it kind of gets into that aspect of Buddhism, where I think you mentioned it kind of gets into a colder aspect,
Well, yeah,
but it's
the scary thing about these guys who get into any Eastern practices, they don't realize that these gates are closed. You cannot do that anymore. In the past, there was so much fluid and water in your brain. It was within 7 days, you can get into a very strong meditative state, a very dream-filled meditative state. Any human could do it, and a lot of them wouldn't. They'd still go out and sin. But in the past, it was a lot easier, a lot more sensitive to these states. As we evolved away from that, which is good, right, to develop our linear thinking, these dream states became very hard to grasp. Now it's what they say, on average, we'll look at 7-year meditators are getting closer, right? Even though it's a bigger package you're getting ultimately at the end of the day. But nowadays, initiation of what every human is trying to do on Earth, whether they're a welder, electrician, football player, they're all trying to increase consciousness, right? When they increase consciousness, then now they're free beings. Now they can love everything, love everyone, right? Which is a true hippie. It's not a dreamy hippie that's like, oh, we're all one, bro. That's not a we. Those hippies are not even that conscious. They're not even that conscious. Everyone's trying to build their flame on Earth, right? You get many chances, but if you just go to Walmart, you'll see people who their flames have diminished. Or I can trigger JW. I could have a conversation with him and I could bring something up in his past. Let's say I researched his past and knew everything about him, right? Let's say I scrolled his feed and blah, blah, da, and I see a weak point and I bring up something that forces JW to enter into a mechanical triggered state, right? You can play people against each other, but on the other hand, when you're conscious and a free being, you can uplift people too. So all that power that some manipulation kind of guy has, let's say like a manipulative guy, kind of like Trump can be manipulative sometimes, right? We've all seen that, and we love Trump, but he's in the charismatic part of that kind of karmic system,
Brother,
and
you have a responsibility to do those type of things, to point out weaknesses and to give negative feedback. Like for instance, are you a woke liberal?
two.
You, Zerka, are you a woke liberal? Because you speak like a woke liberal professor. You use right so incessantly. Are you aware of how often you say the word right? You'll be
The word right?
Yes, you say right like every at the end of every sentence the way woke liberal professors do. I love you and I want you to become aware of it because this is how woke liberals speak.
What the hell is this? Uh,
This guy.
I don't think anyone's ever
Even Nick makes fun of
classified
people
me
that
as.
say right like that.
The student has
I
surpassed the
know, but
teacher.
this is
Yeah,
negative
the student
feedback
has
out of love for
definitely
you. Our
surpassed.
friends should be worthy enemies. That's the point that I'm making is I would expect you to point out flaws. I'm not going to become mechanical and triggered. I'm going to appreciate you and express love for you for helping me refine myself.
He's just
Well,
getting
the
trying to
point
get
I'm
us to
trying to
agree with
make
him.
is all that energy you guys on Twitter spend attacking each other, right? Or
Right?
trying to
I
get
knew you were going to
one
say
up.
right. This is what I'm talking about. This is how woke liberals speak, brother.
What the fuck is it? JW, do you have something to say to the classroom?
That's the point I'm making is I'm giving you negative feedback. I hope you become aware of it because it's obnoxious.
Well,
Zerka, I had another
JW,
question.
it's like this, okay? I'm 1,000 times more intelligent than you, so I'm trying to baby you along with your little
You're
brain.
not. Stop. You know that's not
You know,
true.
I feel like I have to baby you just to get
What are
you
you
up to a
talking
higher
about?
level
You're
of
taking little
consciousness. I'm doing
jabs.
you
You
a
can't have
favor,
any.
little. Hey,
Look who
little
got
boy, I'm
mechanically
doing you a
triggered.
favor,
You
little
got
boy.
mechanically triggered. People are noticing that you say right incessantly. Like your idol Nick
JW,
points out and
you
makes fun of
feel.
people.
Check this out,
This
JW.
is
You
how woke liberal
feel.
professors speak. Literally.
JW, you feel like I am your
I just triggered you
professor.
mechanically. So are you projecting or are you being authentic?
Okay, let me just do it like this. You feel like I am your professor because you're my son. I don't
Zerka.
feel like you're my professor.
Zerka.
I don't feel like you're my professor when you speak. You could even
What are you
you can
talking about?
you feel like I'm petting your head and going, right? Do you understand, JW, little boy? Do you understand?
It's
You
not for me,
feel
it's for
all
your
this
audience.
energy.
It's so you
Check this out. You feel all this energy because this comes from, I don't know where it comes
brother, I
from. Is it,
love you. You don't have to
hold
become
on.
mechanically
How's he doing that, bro? Check this out. Let me just finish what I'm saying. We'll bring you back in a sec. JW, when I said I can mechanically get you triggered by pulling up something in your page, we waited like 15 seconds for you to blow your gasket. You're like, well, I don't like the way you say right. And I feel like you're babying me in this conversation. It's like, I am babying you. You're my son. You're my son. You're on here talking about I've got haters and I'm beefing haters. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You're afraid to talk to a hater on a space. Then what are you here for if you're not going to argue with fucking haters? That's the whole point of content. What the hell? Right?
brother. I've noticed this about you long before we ever spoke. In all of your lectures, you say right incessantly and it's obnoxious. Even Nick has
I don't
pointed it out.
watch your
This is out
lectures.
of love for you.
I don't watch your lectures, so you're probably writing it on your notes. He's like, he said, write again.
No, I notice people
I
that
gotta.
use it.
He's
It's
like,
a tendency.
I gotta copy Zerka, bro. This tendency.
Yeah, but
Everyone's
calling
listening.
you
Everyone's listening to this guy's shit, man. Maybe if I say right more often, and it is kind of manipulative. Like if I was manipulating my girlfriend and I kept saying, right, babe, right, right, right. And she'd be like, yeah, I feel what Zerka's saying is true. Like it is an evil way to speak, So JW writing on his notes, he's like, I wonder why Hitler must have taught him to speak like this. But it's really me holding in my anger, right? We say right so we don't have to say holy shit or we getting bombarded by idiots and sidetracked. I'm trying to answer a question on duality and this guy's like, well, Zerka, you have 1 billion times more followers than me, but I could teach you something. It's like, what the fuck are you going to teach me? I'm 1,000 years older than you. You speak like some fucking guy who plays baseball. You know what I mean? JW's a dude who's like playing good baseball. Let's say he made good money playing baseball or whatever he does, music. It's
yeah,
like that has nothing to do with podcasting. What the fuck? And it's
and calling you a woke liberal, it just makes no sense. Like I don't get
right.
that at all. Like
It's
Yeah,
just-
I really enjoyed your answer on the duality thing, and I was also curious with how you mentioned future is for prayer. I think present is meditation, but how does ritual balance
no,
between
present
prayer
present would be
and meditation?
concentration. Do not confuse that. Right? To be in the present moment, it's an 8 hour thing. You should be concentrated. Meditation is about the past. It always pushes you into the past, even when you're trying to escape from all those kind of astral thoughts. It comes up. Everything you've done wrong just comes right there. It's like a cleaning process in your system. And
Where
yeah,
does ritual fall into that? With say like the LBRP and things like that.
yeah. I don't promote magic. I don't do magic. I don't hang around people who do magic. And I'm not these people. Like, there's a lot of people who say, "Oh, I don't believe in that shit." And it's like, no, no, you can get in some serious trouble doing that stuff. If you don't know what you're doing, you are playing with certain laws that's gonna bite you in the ass. Like, I wouldn't even want someone who's purified doing that kind of stuff, right? Um, and I'm telling you right now, going for your own deeper treasure is more important than trying to bend the universe to your will. A lot of you guys who come to me and you're like, yo, I want to do this. I had one guy wanting to do blood magic ritual. So blood holds the ego, right? Like that's the most powerful part of you. And I remember just looking at him like, okay, he comes into my space to talk about doing a blood magic ritual. And he's, what are people thinking that I'm just going to sit there and be like, yo, can you film it? Can you show me what you're doing? Let me get it right for you. Do people think I want to be karmically linked to, look, I'm not trying to be JW. I'm not trying to have, you know, always, he's always frustrated about something. I'm trying to be like the hippie that loves his life, loves what he does, loves his service to people, and has Christmas lights outside of his balcony. Right? Like I'm trying to be in the Christmas mood. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm a fucking the world is destroying me. And listen, there's a time and a place for intensity, right? But it's definitely not around December or Christmas time because, guys, you have to remember when you pop off, and you will, right? Just like JW, you guys follow my shit, you watch all my shit, you're my sons. You're my sons. I pat you guys on the head like my little children. But don't ever confuse it that when you guys do pop off, that intensity has to be channeled, right? That there's a lot of people who said, I want you to go crazy on the internet for another year, Zerka, right? You did that crazy year and now do it again. And I'm like, yo, first of all, this is not individuation. This is not growing up. I'm not saying it's not never, but I'm saying if you want a human to enter his red-blooded state where he's fiery and just going after all of his dreams immediately, wants to change his life within a year, that intensity is there. But you will never see a successful person keep that same intensity for the rest of his life, because you will go dry inwardly. That means you are running away from duties. For example, Sneeko puts all of his energy and intensity in 7 days of content a week. Now you look at someone like I said this last call, Logan Paul, he'll go away for a month and come back with a package. Now, who do you think is actually working more and unfolding faster? Always ask yourself this. There's a lot of guys who don't get what I'm saying when I say it is about consciousness. And consciousness isn't something that's like woo woo. You will notice that people are on different levels. Like JW is, it's almost like he's in the animal kingdom compared to me, right? Like we got a leash on him. This guy's, he cannot generate the correct thought forms. He's not a master of his mind. He's a master of his limb system, right? He'll do his push-ups like a good little slave, but his mind is everywhere. He's just lost. He's right. You could press one button and just piss him off and just just derail him. Say, I could scroll on your Twitter and find something to make you go unconscious, and he feels threatened. He's like, whoa, what the fuck? And what am I, the master who's gonna be condescending and say, oh, JW, that's how you feel? No, what the fuck? I'm gonna fucking attack you back. What the hell? You're not gonna scream on here thinking like you're being used for a lesson now because you fell out of what the terminology is called. You fell out of favor with the master, and now you're getting whipped by the fuck. You're like the black slave, and I'm just like cracking. Can we can say this on Twitter, right? We could just crack the way. Who says right, nigga? Who says right, nigga? Huh? You like that? And he'd be like, no, master, never again. No, don't crack the whip on me. But yeah, JW reminds me of these black guys in the slave days where it's like it's just muscle screaming, and it's like, bro, I've had my muscle phase, and what is that, like 2017? Like, aren't we done with that phase? Are you gonna ever catch up? Like, come on. But you, as a man, you better have a muscle phase. You better have a bodybuilding phase. You better have a fitness phase. You better have a cardio phase. You better have a diet phase. You better have a bulking phase. You better have every dimension phase. You better have a music phase. Let's say your rhythmic path. You better have a thinking phase. You better have a meditation phase. You better be leveling up your character like this. But bro, you're like 40 years old, still doing push-ups. Like nobody gives a fuck how many push-ups you can do, bro. Right?
It,
If we cared, we would fucking tune in. Yeah.
in terms of Rudolf Steiner, one thing I was reading that was that Earth started off as Saturn, then it became the Sun, then the Moon, and then the Earth became the Earth, and then our next transition will be Venus, Mercury, and then Vulcan. And I
No,
was
that's wrong.
curious.
That's wrong. The next one will be Jupiter first.
Okay, what's your idea like? Uh, what do you think about that process in general, and what will it look like when we ascend to the Jupiter status?
Yeah, in simple terminology, and this might trigger some memories in some people here, right? Some people, very few, but I'm sure some people have memories of this. And these are time systems, right? Like epochs, right? There's a Saturn age, Sun, Moon, right? Basically, as we're on this journey developing, right? You got JW working on his metabolic limb system, right? Fitness, his willing. You got someone else like Drake working on his rhythmic system. He wants to bring music with spirit. Then you got thinkers, Nick Fuentes. You got people more balanced, etc., etc. Everyone's working on something for their incarnation that actually fits as a puzzle piece in all of their incarnations combined. Now, as humans are working on their tasks, some people are working on their karmas, etc., and they're going through shit, they're evolving, they're unfolding. The sun and the moon and the earth will all be joining in back together 1 degree at a time. And this doesn't mean like total chaos like you think, because humans, as they're going up, are not only going to get taller, bigger, stronger, smarter, etc., they're going to start spiritualizing. It's not going to be just dense physical matter. It's going to be that plus spirit. So in the past, it's like unconscious, more dreamy like. In the future, it's going to be with your full body, but spiritualized in your own ego consciousness. This egg, the ego, the egg, right? This is your spirit core. This is why a lot of these crackpot women say, "I'm a star." What do they say? I'm a star seed, which is actually accurate. It's so sad that they get flashes of the truth and they freak out and go into dreamy states with it and lose it. But they are correct that everyone will unfold, and every human, just like in Egyptian times. Remember, Egypt fell because of pride, because everyone was using their mind correctly, right? But he says he booted me like a female. Do we have to bring your enemy in here? And you start crying when we bring your enemy in here? Like, JW, don't do this, bro. We will bring Jalen, whatever his name was. But yeah, as we go back towards spirit, you're going to start seeing virtues turn to superpowers. Everything's going to, I mean, a lot of you won't remember this conversation with me until things start getting much more spiritualized. And then you're going to remember everything I said, and it's going to shock you. JW will be at my feet. You guys will all be at my feet. You guys will all say, well, thank you for that was free. All that information you gave was for free. And I'll be like, you don't have to thank me, right? I benefit just by helping you guys, right? It's like one system. You can't run in the earth and hurt someone and get away from it. It's impossible, right? In this system, it's like, I'm telling you, help people. It's great in every dimension. It's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. But let me tell you this, a lot of you guys shouldn't be focusing on this stuff. This is why the first year I just pushed Jesus on people because I didn't want people to get the deeper stuff because they might focus too much on this stuff. If you focus too much on this stuff, what you're really focusing on is something that is what, maybe 10,000 incarnations away from you. Now, at the end of all of that, it's going to feel like a lot shorter of a time. But right now, it's going to feel, it's not a remembering process right now. Right now, you're going through it, right? You went from unconsciously being binded with God in perfect love to separating on your own seed. Now you have to bring that seed back to the garden. And I'm telling you right now, that it's like if you start focusing on these teachings that are for initiates and not for just young men, a lot of you guys will go crazy. A lot of you guys don't realize you're looking way too big picture. And the scary part is when young people start saying, I just want to be dragged along by the cosmos. I don't want to do anything. And on the other side, right, when you go to bed every night, right, it's the same as death. In the spirit land, you would be shocked how embarrassing it is to say I do not want to develop. Because if you genuinely didn't want to develop, you wouldn't incarnate. So just by you breathing, you know you want to work hard and suffer a lot and go through it. That's fact, 100%. It's not like, well, I don't know if I chose it. No, no, because you're breathing, because you're extinguishing the spirit to have conscious thought in the morning, you're choosing the package. You should be going after it tooth and nail. This is why I like highly ambitious people, although that's going to fucking snake them the hardest in their initiation. Like, let's say JW, he's a good example of an ambitious man. We want to see that from people, right? We don't like fucking losers. But when it's his turn, and maybe in a couple lifetimes, but when it's his turn to walk that road where he has to face all of his demons and everything inside of his soul, he's going to be like they say, the most jacked guys are the biggest cowards when it comes to inner work or anything psychedelic or any psychotropic work. Anytime it's inward, these people are the greatest cowards you'll ever see because they're just horrified with what's inside. And I'm not just attacking JW. I'm a very outward guy, loud guy. I'm not built for inward. Like people think that I wish it was true. I wish JW was right that I had some just reflex how do you say, a reflex to be a liberal. If I had just more of that liberal energy, I would have done even better, I think. right? You're going to see some of the most balanced skulls on earth. They can see the point of view of the liberal, which is very hard, right? There's so many fucking cucks on that side. But you're supposed to be that kind of. You should be able to see all points of views, right? Then there's more red pill side like JW, Zherka, me, and Nick Fuentes, who we have serious trouble seeing that, or Gary, or whoever you can mention, but these kind of characters who cannot see the liberal point of view ever. Like, no matter how hard, if you're a comedian, you can try and see it through comedy, but it's really just resistance and stubbornness. This is not good, right? You want to be in the middle for your most of your life, or else people write you off with things that you think about yourself. These demons, you're going to keep battling in your head. And remember, when I say battle demons in your head, it's not like some mystical language of like, oh, just impulses and electrical signals. Eventually, you have to face them one by one, all of them, not just, a couple years. You're going to face all of them. And if you want to know any human who's already done this, look into schizophrenics. Okay. They break into that world, and a lot of them are karmically destined to have their lives destroyed that way. A lot of them have done some horrific shit, and I don't mean to victim blame, or everyone accuses me of being like the ultimate victim blamer, but I'm telling you, I'm not saying this just to be cruel or anything. I'm saying look into a schizophrenic that screams until their fucking mouth is cut and bleeds. Look into a schizophrenic who lost 70 pounds from screaming and seeing phantoms and demons. Look into a schizophrenic who's locked up for 30 years. They wrap him up. They wrap him up like he's Carnage from Spider Man. Look into a schizophrenic that cannot be around knives because he'll kill everyone. That's where you are headed if you do not do the inner work. That is hold on a sec. That is horrifying that that much baggage can build up and that much suffering someone can go through lifetime after lifetime. It just That's why I say initiation science is you're getting ready for death and facing death correctly, not running away from it. You can do as many lifetimes as you want. Running away from it, you got to face all of that shit. You have to be squeaky clean before you go to that other side, especially if you want to go with exact consciousness. This is why every single post of mine is about polishing the heart. Because I'm like, dude, you do not want to be JW just freaking out, does not know why he's a nervous wreck. Some Jalen guy got under his skin and he's like losing his mind and shit. Bro, there are real demons inside of you that you have to fight. You have to fight you're going to wrestle with these. You're not going to be like a Jedi master who just ignores and walks through the fog. No, you're going to be traumatized by what you're storing. If you're having this much trouble with a Twitter troll, it's going to get bad for you because what a Twitter troll, his job is to keep throwing shit at the wall until something touches a demon that hovers around you. And then you get triggered into some kind of flash thought, right? Now, that's why this guy's like sitting at the edge of his seat thinking like, when is Zerka going to attack me? And I was never even going to attack him. I was going to say mechanical behavior comes from personal attacks. If someone scrolls on a Zerka account, they choose something personal to attack, right? Mechanical behavior always jumps out and says, no, it's not this way. Now, let me tell you this, man. You don't have enough time on earth to only have your perspective, right? If all your friends have the same perspective as you, you're probably a stupid motherfucker, right? You want to walk around earth laughing at these mini problems like trolls. Trolls are funny, dude. You should be laughing with them. When trolls, I don't let trolls accumulate because I don't like them reporting my channels, but do you really believe I'm not laughing my ass off when they post some photos of me? Like, it's sometimes, when someone's trying to be really cruel, but it just comes out like they're your brother, when your brothers are being mean to you. And I laugh my ass off. I know I'm not supposed to I used to love building up trolls in my Twitch community, right? I just let them run the chat and it would be even more views. But man, that shit is fucking traumatizing because they will block your account. So they do 90% of the content when you're not there, which is great. But man, you get blocked, you get fucking destroyed. Excuse me, you get banned because they all mass report. Like they turn into JW. You know, they all just have a freaking episode like Zerka. Give me more attention, nigga. We're letting you speak, right? We let all the passionate people speak until they have mental breakdowns and like start mic hogging. Don't come microphone hog. I like when you guys speak so I can turn off my mic, walk around, get some fresh air. I like having breaks. I want you guys to be on. But this whole idea that I feel less than Zerka, so I have to debate him. You are less than me, so you don't get to debate me, little boy. Yeah.
Here, I got a debate for you. No, I'm just kidding. I got a question for you though. So, in terms of In Higher Worlds and Its Attainment by Rudolf Steiner, I know that you mentioned that book a lot. And I was curious how you process the method of unlocking the lotuses and the petals of each chakra. Because in that book, he mentions separating the mental, the willpower, and the feeling. And how do you approach, the petals? For I know this is probably over a lot of people's heads, but I know you mentioned this book a lot.
Yeah.
So, how do you unlock that kind of meditation? Do you kind of separate the mental, the physical, the mental, the feeling, and the willpower throughout meditations?
No, I've posted a lot about this, and you really want to watch out with language like unlock or do this or rip off the petals. Or this is a slow building of higher sense organs. This building is so slow and subtle in your subtle energy body that you're going to be shocked how little progress you make. Right? This is why I get people to start when they're 22 to 25 years old, that the latest 28. And so they can work that up until their 56th year, right? Because it gets a lot easier when you get older, like a lot easier, unless you're gifted. Uh, but yeah, I know that many people have quit because they're like, well, after a few years, this is all I got from it, you know? And I'm like, okay, you got something from it. And they're like, no, that's too little for me. I'm like, look at the way you're living your life. Like, no shit, you were going to get so little. But little means it's a lot of people think like, let's say I make 5% progress in 5 years. That doesn't mean the next 5 years are 5%. It could be 15%. So a lot of people don't realize it's. I know what you're asking though. You're asking, does it just open like a chamber in your heart? No, it doesn't. Actually, that would be horrific if it did. Like if you've ever seen someone's heart or etheric heart bloom open is an MDMA experience, right? But your body can't hold that kind of voltage. So you're not ready for that. It should be done very slowly. Look into the people in your life who are morally upright and perfect. Everyone has someone in their family that just knows what they're doing in life. I'm not talking about money and all this stuff. I'm not talking, you'll know because they're extremely calm, right? And when they're angry, it doesn't become their whole world, right? They can have angry moments, but there's always someone in your family who morally progresses the fastest. That person intuitively knows what they're doing. It's showing training from past lives that they must have had some kind of training. Not that much training. You could tell who's had the most training because 21 years old, they'll read a book and immediately tap into all the information, and everything will be a remembering process. Or like when everyone says, Zerka, how the fuck do you know all this? And I look at your old videos at 25 years old, you're saying this stuff, and I'm like, that remembering process is those guys who are interested throughout many lifetimes. These are that much higher level guys, never people you should trust. If someone's higher level, that doesn't mean you should trust them. Remember, even at the highest levels, there's been many guys who use their position to fuck all the women in their cult, right? So even the higher guys are working through some serious inner bullshit, right? I'm talking really high level guys. Again, don't ever see it as just spirituality. We're talking about the mind. That means you can snap into psychosis, you can snap into schizophrenia. Without moral progression, you are so fucked. I'm telling you, It's such a subtle degree by degree you want to go up. And again, just like how you build a bank account in your life, just like how you build friendships and social media systems for your accounts and all that, ask yourself, all the superficial shit just went into the toilet right now. If all of that just jumped in the toilet, what would be left? Like you on an island alone, right? How would you write down, let's say you had some homework every night of how your life's going. You have 5 years left to live. You wouldn't really give a fuck about anything you're doing. You would go right into Steiner's work. You'd say, okay, I might as well get started. All right, there's guys like me who have always thought they're not going to stick around till 40 even, right? We go even harder. But you guys who are probably going to make it to 72 years old, a lot of you guys who've never touched drugs, never damaged any of your systems in your bodies, which brings treasures. There are going hard in life can bring early treasures, which means you die sooner. That is the trade off that no one ever admits. No one wants to talk about because they're cowards. In every single esoteric community, the number one thing no one will ever talk about is that the guys who know what they're talking about are dying early. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. They don't know that stuff because they're high level. It's because they wanted it early. And it's mentioned many times. If you want this information early, you want your self-remembering process to be very early, it's dangerous. That word is used a lot, but no one actually knows what they mean by dangerous, because most of these masters are trying to get you away from breaking into schizophrenia or like losing your mind or all the big stuff. But there's long-term stuff too. Let's say everything goes right and you're very early on your path. Well, guess what? You're dying a lot sooner because you start your path way early. There's a trajectory you're supposed to maintain. That's why a lot of people who go into a bunch of these communities of mystery knowledge, mystery language, mythopoetic language, and trying to find which ones align with what, which practices work, who are the people you can trust in history. Why does every esoteric channel not like Zerka? Why do they all dislike me? Because I only promote Steiner's work. I don't promote any of their garbage. And they go, "Well, that's unfair. There's so much more knowledge out there. There's so many other paths. There's so many other people, and there's not. If there were other people to point to on this path, they would bring exact thinking with their spirituality. But we don't see that. We see dreamy mysticism again and again. So people always point to the fact that mysticism is dangerous. So yeah, if you're not conscious, it's super dangerous, right? Very dangerous, because there's been guys who are some of the most highest level mystics on earth. They quit all their ambitions in their whole life, everything, to get dragged along by evolution. So it's not like they became monks. It's not like they did any of monastic life. Which is a closed path now. It's not really how you're supposed to do things anymore. Like, believe it or not, this is going to shock you, but who is closer to the truth? A monk, a Christian monk in the mountains that prays all day. He's trying to, clean everything he's done in his past, make everything perfect in one incarnation. He's going balls to the wall. Or someone who has mastered Steiner's practices but has a wife and kids. And believe it or not, the question always comes down to who is generating more conscious love throughout the day, right? So if the monk is generating, let's say, because he's in the mountains, it's a lot easier to do this without people bugging you. The monk will generate, let's say, 8 hours of love a day, versus the guy with the family and kids. Let's say he has 12 hours. Plus, when he sleeps better too, let's say that that guy would be shitting on the monk. This is super rare, though. You don't see guys with families ever go this far, right? But I'm saying that's what city life is. There are some of these anomaly type people out there that is really about that flame of consciousness, that love. It's who has that thing going out towards the world more. Now, the monk, another thing that he's fucking up on is he can't multiply that love because he's in the mountains. it's well, it's considered a selfish path nowadays, which is so interesting to say. Imagine Zherka saying that about a Christian monk. That just sounds wrong. Like, poor monk, that guy's doing everything perfect, and he is for himself. But I'm saying, if you want, let's look at like the highest level you could have. It's the guy who is changing the world, right? Consciously. That is the highest level we're looking at. So a lot of the highest level initiates and monks, they actually enter service to some greater system, right? They do something for the world. Now, that doesn't mean a monk on the mountains isn't like doing his part. Remember, he's doing the thinking part great, right? And his will is not, where are his deeds? He's in a fucking mountain, right? So his thinking and feeling is probably great and stuff. It's just the future is not going to look like. The future we're building towards is going to be surgeons who save lives, who have strong esoteric practices, and they're in a conscious etheric state of Christ-like love all throughout the day. And it's shocking that some people think that's impossible to do. Like, if you're listening to this, I doubt you guys have an hour of love a day. I don't think you guys, or look at JW. He needs a hug. Someone in his life needs to give him a hug. Like, he's generating all the wrong kind. He's just inward dryness. He's got all the deeds for himself and what he's trying to do, but the thinking and feeling are just erratic, right? And that's fine, because some of the most interesting people have erratic thinking and feeling. Some of the greatest artists who suffer or are suffering through their karmas, some of their best art is produced there. There's so many wins with that too. But when you look at what you're trying to do, it's, if you want to look at someone who has a perfect system, would be the person who has balanced his consciousness life with his thinking, reflecting, etc. And usually you see these guys as surgeons. Their prayer doesn't stop throughout the day. They just keep saving lives. These are the closest guys. And there's a lot of guys who are like, "Yo, talk to me about this Christian monk on a mountain," and I'm like, "This is not like the fucking 1600s, bro. Like, we're in 2025. You better be doing something in materialism to uplift people. Like, you cannot be in a fucking mountain disappearing right now." And you guys got to remember that we're out of the Kali Yuga, right? But this shaky start, before all the good happens, which is probably like 80 years from now, like all the really good stuff, it's going to be really bumpy. Like, the first thing, and all my prediction, these guys who say all my predictions are spot on, these are not my predictions. I'm quoting Steiner in my quote. You can just look into my Twitter if you don't see that. So stop saying they're my predictions. You'll know it's my prediction if it's like there's a high chance that I get it wrong. But if it's not my prediction, it's the truth. This is what's going to happen. And I'm telling you right now, we are going to slip in the next 10 years into much deeper layers of materialism. You're going to see church people go way harder, but they're, let's let's be honest, they're going to be outnumbered by how decadent people are going to live with this AI, with this not leaving their house, Uber Eats, no life contact with anyone. It's your job as a soul on earth to push people into systems that get people around the right auras. If you ever want to bend what you're looking through the spectrum of light and see auras, I really recommend stay in a church and you'll know what I mean, right? Any kind of movement you start seeing in reality, right, is you slowly entering into this etheric, right? Seeing it. Now, at the highest level, you'll be seeing it as just blue auras coming out of churches, going straight up. It's magnificent because that's the first time you'll realize thinking has an effect on reality, a major effect. That's why it feels different to step inside of a church than it feels to walk around the streets, right? It's a different in feeling, in tuning, and vibration, and everything is affected by that. So, yeah, are they sinners in the church? I mean, all of them. most priests nowadays are fucking up big time too. And you see a lot of Twitter guys where, like me, I could be so much higher level if I just let go of social media because it gets annoying. You get angry real quick. You want to say laugh my ass off every few seconds at some funny ass racist meme, and we're in that kind of dense materialism where you have to work with it and stuff. And also my age, right? Right, I'm too young to be in this game. This game is for 65-year-olds, right? Those were guys who have like 40 years under their belt. And I'm way, way early because if you think about my incarnation task, it has a big following with it. That means, my fire trials are going to be way more intense than the average guys because anytime fame is linked to this kind of stuff, oh my God, it's all the minds that are listening to you fucking with your soul. And it's, let's just say in like 10 years, I should not be on the internet at all. In 10 years, I should be completely scrubbed. Maybe I have one episode on a, you know, documentary Gaia TV or something to get more people awake. But really, really, I should be scrubbed off the internet and go into everything I'm supposed to do with no distractions, nothing enter. I can hold one thought for 30 minutes, but can I hold one thought for 30 minutes when I'm on Twitter? No human can. Not even if you bring back past masters, could they do it when they start seeing how effective this mirror tool you hold all day, this phone, is in distracting and damaging and dispersing your soul. And by soul, I mean that's where thinking happens within the soul. So it can disperse those forces. Now, does this mean you have to, in a strange sense, yes, you do want to get more liberal when you are alone with yourself. You do not want to be veins in your neck like Zherka or JW, or you do not want this when you're morally progressing. It's impossible to morally progress when you want to kill someone, when you're angry, when you're, right? These states are going to fuck you up big time. That's why a lot of you guys don't realize you have a huge, huge advantage over me. Even though in 10 years, you won't even be able to do one podcast like me. You won't be able to push out any of the information because some of you guys are not remembering this stuff at all. Some of you guys are learning it for the first time, right? Or you've heard about it in a vague way, right? You'll know, hold on, you'll know you're remembering it if you smile ear to ear saying, whoa, I don't have a big following. I don't have anyone who follows me. This is perfect for me. If you have no followers that follow you and you're, let's say, 20 years old and you're doing everything I say, within 10 years, not only are you going to think you guys are going to worship me, you're going to say, holy shit, did you get me started on this path? Don't worship me. Your job is to get other people. If you can get 1 million people to repost everything I post and not that other community that took all of Dr. Robert Gilbert's work, right? I don't trust them. But if you can get 1 million people, just like how you guys make everything popular with Aiden Ross stuff, if you get me and what I talk about with the people I recommend to you guys, if you get that stuff popular, which is a tremendous task, that means you guys every day of your life, karmically, you guys will be reposting, you guys will be sharing, you guys will be pushing it out there like it's your karmic duty. How do you guys benefit from that? Well, when it's popular, you will have 8 Zerkas debating each other on podcasts to listen to so you can see which path is the best for you. And look, I'm not those people who preach only patience because it is a fucking, let's be real, it's like a 10 to 20 year game for most people. So it is a patient game, but there are many fast tracks. Like, for example, imagine you reading these books versus going on my Twitter and listening to this space. You guys go, whoa, shit. This is a lot faster with Zerka. He's talking about Dragon Ball. He's talking about Goku. He's making it easier for me to understand. Then you go to the literature and you go, oh shit, this is like child's play. I can hear Zerka's voice. He's like a good teacher for guys at this age range, which is great, right? That as many souls as we can lift up, that's great. Now check this out. If you get it, maximize it to the if your only job is to push this kind of content, your goal isn't just to make Zerka's content popular. Because if I want to be popular, I'll bring some chicks, turn the camera on, and get real views like that, right? Which we're gonna have to do that eventually, right? But talk about what we want to talk about, obviously, and just red pill people, right? On a mission to red pill the world. But you got to remember, if you got it very popular, you would see high production channels making Rudolf Steiner videos. Now that's where you really learn. Way with pictures, with everything, that's where you actually learn way more than with me. And here's the thing, you search up streaming, you search up video game, you search up any genre, you have millions of YouTube videos of what you're trying to learn. But you look into this genre of initiation science and you have nothing. You just go look at any offshoot media, any alternative source. Go look at YouTube. It's garbage. And the scary part is the only people who are uh, deeply in this, they're doing a lot of strange things like the anthroposophy people who are like 65 years old, graying in the hair, and they're like, they shot me, they shot me a message, said, "Oh, I saw your stuff on Twitter because you keep tagging the Steiner thing, so it's showing up on the feed, and that's how I found you." And so well, I don't want to say her age, but she's probably like 50 years old. She said, and I close my eyes in meditation. I've been doing this a while, and I stop and look at all the pretty things, everything that I see, and I'm like, okay, she's very far in her progression. She doesn't realize that she's not supposed to stop. She's supposed to go deeper in and keep penetrating through no matter how scary it gets. And I'm not going to tell an old woman, 50-year-old woman, this stuff, and she can do it in another lifetime or whatever. But it's scary that she's in a group with all these Facebook kind of old people and they're trying to find their way to the threshold by themselves at 50 years old, 60 years old, some of them. And that's a scary thing because it's like no one can help you there. It's kind of just like schizophrenia. It's no one's gonna help you there. You want billions of views on this topic because then you'll have 10 guys like me battling it out for what is the best system of how to approach it, and you are more safe. You are not safe promoting politics. That's actually karmically damaging you. You are not safe doing anything you're doing. You're only safe at making anthroposophy popular so you can decide for yourself which is the best system to approach it. If you're convinced, "Oh, I just want to do Zerka's path," first of all, I'm not going to tell you about my private life, but just look at my outside life. Yeah, you can't even handle that. You think you're going to handle everything I've went through? Don't you want a better system to do it, like in ancient times when they'd have mystery schools that teach you with priests how to do this? Or are you going to wait till you guys break into schizophrenia because Fortnite's more popular? And it's like you're going to see how big mystery schools are going to get. They're going to get so popular, but it's 80 years from now. The predictions are about 80 years from now, right? In 20 years, you're going to say a lot of, let's say in 10 years, you're going to say, well, a lot of what Zerka said is coming true, but I do wish it was more like 10 million people, not just, let's say 500,000. I wish it was, you're going to want more. Imagine there's Fortnite in your psyche dragging you down to hell, right? You want to counterbalance that. You want this as popular as possible, not Zerka hanging out with women and all the stuff you're used to liking. You want this as popular as possible so it's a better path for you. Doesn't mean it's easier, but it means you get way more spiritual buffs. You get way more power ups as you go up. Or you're going to be terrified. You're going to say to yourself, wait a minute, throughout all of history, every single mystery center had a system of how to do this, how to actually fight the dragon and beat your mind. and stay awake. When we sleep, we go fully conscious to sleep and do everything perfect in exact thinking with no error. But in 2025, how are people initiating? In the fucking Amazon, losing their fucking minds, jumping off buildings, killing themselves? And you got to remember, all of the problems you have, like, oh, these women are turning hoes, and all of that gets solved with this. You know, if there's ever a truth pill to saving the world, it's Zerka's channel, but not the parts that are popular, like the women and the stuff. That's just to get the views, really, right? If we got the deeper stuff really popular, you guys would, you know, I've had many people crying saying, holy shit, thought you were just some fucking schizo, Zerka. This is immensely important to the world. And I don't want to be those guys who, yeah, in 80 years it's going to be very popular and I'll be remembered as one of the guys, the forerunners who brought it. But I don't want that. I would much rather see everyone every day, 10 posts a day, everyone who listens to me, try and make it as popular as possible. You get infinite wonder too, right? You get infinite wonder. That's what you want in the world. You don't want to look at politics all day like a fucking idiot with being depressed. You want more wonder in your world. You want these mysteries solved. And you're not going to thinking that just Zerka is going to do it for you is not enough. You want 10 Zerkas out there. You know, you don't want, you know, how everyone in politics just wants to be popular for themselves. So they attack every other political guy. They say, I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. I don't like my teammate. I don't like everyone. Just listen to me. I'm the opposite. I want 10 Zerkas. You guys leave me alone. Go, just disperse. Everyone go their own fucking way if you have to. Just put 10 Zerkas out there talking about 10 Zerka topics, and I will join you in chat. You guys will see me kick my feet up, and I'll watch the content myself because that's how our day and age learns the fastest, right? Although we need some passionate speakers for sure, but I would love to have a break from leading the charge because let me tell you this, man, it's overwhelming how much work has to get done. Uh, in maybe, you know, we got 3 more years, you're going to see serious darkness. Like with Trump, the golden age, a lot of great things is going to happen, but you're about to see levels of despair that you're going to hate the political channels you follow. You're going to hate everyone you follow because why? They didn't do anything for society, meaning you hate your world, you hate your own society. Now you get 10 Zerkas out there pushing everything I push. Now you finally get to go home and say, you know, there's a part of the world that's changing right there. And that part does not fuck around. Does not fuck around like JW. Does not fuck around like Jay Dyer. Does not fuck around like everyone on earth fucking around with the finger in their ass. Have you noticed you guys listen to my voice? You go, oh shit, he is speed running. This incarnation Zerka's going fast. Everyone else talks slow because they know they're going to live till 80. They're doing this for entertainment, bro. These guys who just sit there on their YouTube channels and talk slow and hey, Jesus is king, and they know they're going to live till 80 with the same foggy consciousness. That's their game plan, and they're sucking you into that without you realizing. You're going to be stuck in matter with these people thinking, where is God? No, dude, go to the passion, man. Go to the passion. There's, what is it? Many channels that talk about Christ all day, but they say stuff like Ezekiel's bread is about a bread recipe. Now, these people, I'm sure they mean well, and I know they get their rocks off calling me a Satanist, and you're evil, you're this, you're that. Zerka, you can't talk about Ezekiel's bread, it's just a recipe. These people, I know they mean well, so we cannot call these Christians demons, but are they not dragging us into the worst kind of materialism we've ever seen? You got to ask yourself, like, Where is the real church? Where is the tribe? Where are people dedicated to, for, if anything, if you're not dedicated to your fellow man, at least build the world that you're going to inherit again. Everyone instinctively knows here they're going to come back into the world. You're going to inherit a shittier world if you leave it shit. That's not how this shit goes. I'm telling you right now, man, we don't have that kind of time. Not to fearmonger, because if you change into fearful thoughts, you guys are actually damaging the system immediately. That's how quick it goes into the ether. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying you don't have time to dedicate a whole Twitter account to trolling or listening to me. That's gay. Your Twitter account should be dedicated to anyone who speaks. You should say, nope, here, go to this book. Here, go to Knowledge of Higher Worlds and its Attainment. Go here. You should be blocking all the lies in the world with the truth. Get people right. The more people you get on higher levels, the higher level you get to go. And I'm telling you, some of you guys that just want to be dragged along, go unconscious again in your death life. You're not going to remember it. You're always going to be in a state of not remembering until it's your turn. And then, and the fog starts to clear. You start to, see your path, and you're like, okay, I'm going to make the great journey, right? I'm going to enter into the great work, right? That's when you're going to be transforming every situation like an alchemist would. But I'm telling you right now, if you think life is about pushing whatever the fuck you guys push all day, all of your misery comes from that. You should be convinced. You should be convinced in your heart, this guy's lying to me, Zherka, or he's telling me the truth. It's one or the other. You have to decide. And when you decide, you push that content like it's your religion. You don't like my videos with girls and all that. That stuff can help you, sure, but that's not the important stuff. That's not what I'm here on earth to do. And it would be a fucking disaster if I did, because, I have those flash thoughts where I go, why don't I just go back on my Casanova shit and leave these guys? I'm way ahead of these fucking clowns anyway. I'm not fully integrated. I'm not these guys who see you identically like me. I work at that, right? I'm very filled with shadow. I I even have kind of like flashes in my head like, would they do all this for me? I have many days in my life, every day of my life, where I say, what fucking Twitter follower would do this for me? These people laugh at me. Sure, they love me, but let's say I do something stupid, they'll laugh. And these people are just as demonic. They have nothing etheric about them. There's no love there. Why the fuck am I doing all this for them? I want to go away from them. I want to be separated from them. They actually look ugly to me. They look really fucking ugly to me. And I have these thoughts, and they're real. They're true. When I go out in society, I feel a deep despair that I see ugly people. I don't mean just face. I'm saying inwardly, there's something about them that doesn't mind the world getting darker. They have this face like, yeah, I've got my Fortnite at home. I don't really care how dark it gets. And you you see selfish ass faces of people just working through their karmas and trying to get by, and it's infuriate. No, you know what? It infuriate. We can't speak today, bro. We are losing our voice, and I can't say the word. Infuriates. Am I getting it?
Infuriates.
There you go. It pisses me the fuck off when I look in public and I go, wait a minute. Not one person in traffic knows anything I know. Not one person in traffic knows anything my followers know. And not one of my followers will be able to remember anything they know from right now. All of you listening are going to go back into a sleepy, dreamy state like JW and all this unconscious behavior. And I'm telling you right now, it feels like the odds are just against me. Now, me doing my incarnation task for the world is my duty. Everyone here has to do something for the world, believe it or not, or you will get sick. Inwardly, you will get sick in your own way. You won't be able to describe it. You'll feel an inner dryness, and it won't make sense to you, but I'm telling you right now, if you have one mission on earth that takes 10 seconds of your day, is to push anthroposophy like it's your religion. Because it is your religion. You don't have anything else in your life. All of you are fucking nothing. When I open your accounts, you guys are just posting some vague stuff about Christ. Just maybe if I post this, there's no conviction in your heart. You haven't converted anyone. This is not even your game. This is not even your love. You sound like Sonny when he talks about his religion. You just don't give a fuck, right? It's more of like a business to you. It's a fucking fashion statement. And I'm telling you right now, these are baby souls. They're adorable. They're like, oh, we're all burning in hell. This is fucking hilarious, right? This is adorable behavior. It's not like stupid behavior. It's just unconscious behavior, which is seen as stupid. But eventually, all of you are going to shine like gods. When you think of what heaven is in Earth evolution, in Jerusalem period, in Jupiter period, dude, every one of you are going in your own heavenly state, form, transformed thousands of years from now, increment by increment, little by little. Every hour counts until then. It's going to be a bumpy ride, but every homeless person you see here will be transformed, will be radiant, will be glowing. This is known throughout all the mystery centers on earth, too. Throughout all of history, always been talked about. Your rainbow body will be built. And I'm telling you right now, you will be deeply, infinitely ashamed that you ever look down on a homeless person when you see his final form, when you see humans at their peak. You're going to see Andrew Tate without all the cringe, without the greed, at his final form. You're going to see Logan Paul. You're going to see Pokemon. You're going to see everyone your psyche is linked to in their final form. And then you're going to see yourself. Because guess what? Everyone goes up. It's just in different times. Like, when I got 200,000 followers here, out of all of them, I'm ahead of them. So 200,000 people are, what is it, 2,000, maybe 10,000 years much later than me. That's unfortunate.
Zherka, hey, I really appreciate all the motivation, and yeah, this really pumps me up. I really enjoy your perspective on these things, and I had to give you another Steiner question. So, in terms of Steiner's descriptions of the hierarchies of spiritual beings like angels and archangels, how do they influence your understanding of human consciousness, and especially across incarnations? Because do you see it like your reality almost as a dreamlike state where everything is comes to you as a divination, like everything in your reality kind of shows up almost like a tarot card in a way that's sent?
Yeah, okay, I don't know why you interrupted me, but I'll answer his question about the dream part. Do you see everything like a dream? Humans get tired so they can go to sleep. They do not go to sleep because they get tired. They go to sleep, they get tired to, go to sleep because you will die without going to the spiritual world. Every night you go there. You understand? You will die. That's why people 3 days no sleep get irritable, sound like JW. You understand what I mean? Now, I get this question about death. Bro, first of all, you don't even know what's happening to you when you're asleep, let alone death. So shut the fuck up. Some of you guys are so out of touch. You think, was reality like a fucking dream? It's, dude, your whole day is made in the spiritual world when you're asleep. You wake up and live it. You don't know why. You do things, you just do them. Your will is asleep. In your metabolic system, it just walks around like a fucking dumbass doing things. Then you get random feelings throughout the day that change you. These are like dreams, dreamy states. And thinking is the only thing you control. But none of you can hold a thought for 30 minutes. None of you can meditate. None of you can even let go of the thought. If I said hold this one symbol in your head for 30 minutes and you got good at it for a few months, I'd say, okay, let go of the thought now. You wouldn't be able to. You'd be like, oh fuck. So even when you get it, you'll still fail. That's how phone brain destroyed the world, bro. You guys have your minds destroyed. You guys go on dates and don't know what's happening on the day. You don't know why she asked you that question. You don't know why you got nervous. You don't know what you're doing. You have a dragon called the mind and it's dog walking you like a bitch. And I'll wrap it up like this. Okay? If you do not make everything I push the biggest thing on Twitter, YouTube, whatever, friends, family, everyone has to go through it. Like, share. If you're not a part of this journey, well, you're not going to have that much information to go into the fog and face your demons, face the guardian of the threshold. And I don't want that for you. I want you to have as much information as the priest class did in ancient mystery centers. But it doesn't matter because you're going to forget in an hour. You are in a dream. You don't know you do not even know what you do. You're asleep and you can't stop sleeping. And I tried my best. I tried my best. But I was not here.